Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yonityam Achyuta Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinayamene Asmadguror Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sundhoho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye Mata Pita Yuvatayastanayaha Vibhutis Sarvam Edeva Niyamena Madanvayanam Adyasyanah Kulapater Vakudabhiramam Shimattadangri Yugadam Pranamami Murthana Bhutam Sarasya Mahatakvaya Bhattanatha Sri Bhaktisara Kulashekara Yogi Vahan Bhaktangri Renu Parakala Yatindra Mishran Shimat Parankushamunim Pranatosmi Nityam. Namaskaram to all Atma Bandhus here. We are here this evening to talk about the glories of Vishnu Sahasranama, or rather, the significance of Nama Sankirtana. Chanting the holy names of Bhagavan is one simple means to accomplish salvation. Humankind has been in persistent pursuit to put an end to the cycles of births and deaths. We are here as a result of our karma. The Sanatana Dharma, the Vedic scriptures, they all accept and propagate birth and rebirth. We are born here as a result of our previous karmas. Why should we accept that we are reborn? Why is not that we think we are born for the first time? If we accept that there were no karmas which caused our birth here, then we would not find an answer. Why was I born to a parent? Why was I rich? Or why was I born poor? Why am I educated? Why am I not educated? I would not have answers to all these questions. When a child is born, its status gets decided to an extent. Not totally, but still to an extent it gets decided. Its behavior gets decided. When it has no previous actions or deeds to its account, then how come it got decided? So there has to be something previous to this birth. If at all I say that I was born due to the karma of my father, then there is another fallacy there, that the cause and effect are not in the same person. The cause rests with my parent and the effect is with me. Cause and effect has to be at the same time and with the same person. If I am suffering from fever, then I need to consume medicines. I need to get treated. If I am treated and my neighbor gets cured, then the cause would lie with me, the effect would lie with my neighbor, which never happens. It is not logical. The cause and effect must be with the same person. So my karma can decide my fate, my destiny, my living or not living. Someone else's deeds or actions cannot decide my fate. So the cause and effect has to rest with me. On day one, when I am born, where did I have a cause? I am born on that particular day. I cannot find any cause with me. So necessarily you have to accept that before this day, not in this birth necessarily, but in some birth before this, I have done some actions. I have accumulated some results of those actions, as a result of which I am born today. So necessarily you have to accept something before the day one of my birth. Let me give you another example. I have done so many things in this material world. I lived for 70 or 80 years. If I am not rewarded or punished for all my actions, suddenly I die, then where did all my actions go? You cannot say that the soul ceases to exist or the results of the actions of this soul, they cease to exist. Both are not possible. If the soul ceases to exist, then all the actions, the rewards, the punishments would all die with that soul. At least to enjoy that reward or to suffer the punishment, the soul has to exist even after the body has perished. So we need to accept that the soul was there before. By soul, I mean the Atman. So the Atman was necessarily before this body, and the Atman would also be even after this body. If we do not accept this theory, then there will be chaos in this material world, because I am not answerable to any of my actions. I can do whatever I want. There will be no restriction, no discipline, no rhyme or reason for my action, which is not possible. I have to be good to myself. I have to be good to my parents. I have to be good to this society. If I have to be good to all these people, then there must be some accountability on my part. Accountability cannot be just social justice or social responsibility. It has to be more than that. I have to be rewarded or punished. If not in this birth, I can be rewarded or punished even in later births. And I am getting rewarded or punished as a result of my actions of previous births. So this has to be accepted. If not, then the cause would lie somewhere and the effect would lie somewhere. I am born as a result of my action, not as a result of someone else's action. I have to suffer or I have to enjoy the results of my action. If I do something good, it's known as punya, then I get rewarded. If I do something bad, then they are termed as papa, I get punished. So unless I get punished or rewarded, I cannot spend my papa or punya. On the other way, let me put it the other way now. If I enjoy for a day, that would mean I have spent some of my punyams. If I suffer for a day, that would again mean I have spent some of my papams. If I suffer, then my account in papam gets reduced. If I enjoy, then my punya account gets reduced. The more I enjoy, the more I spend my punyam. The more I suffer, the more I spend my papam. Now we will have to decide to enjoy or to suffer. If I suffer, then I am spending my papam. You may think that as a result of papam you suffer, as a result of punyam you enjoy. It's true to an extent, but not completely. Because, let me put it the other way now. As a result of punyam we enjoy, as a result of papam we get punished. We feel sad, we suffer. Yes, it's true. But it is more true because I go to a shopping mall. I have 10,000 in hand. Do I make a purchase because I have 10,000? Or if I purchase, my 10,000 will reduce, which is true. Since I had 10,000, I made a purchase. Is that statement true? Or after I purchased, my 10,000 reduced. Which one is true? You may think both are true. It is not so. All the days I had 10,000, I never purchased. But whenever I purchased, my 10,000 reduced. Is it right or wrong? So whenever I make a purchase, my 10,000 will necessarily reduce. But not necessary that whenever I had 10,000, I should make a purchase. So not necessary that if you have punyam, you will enjoy. If you have papam, you will suffer. It is true, but more than that is, if you suffer, then your papa reduces. If you enjoy, If you are rewarded, then your punya reduces. This is more relevant to us now. We are here to reduce our papam and punyam. Once you enter this material world, then our karma stop there. They are no more influencing us. They stop there. Just they give us this birth, they stop. Having taken this birth, what is our duty here? As much as possible enjoy, as much as possible suffer, reduce all the punyam and papam, nil. Make the account balance as zero. If it becomes zero, what happens? Upanishad says, tada vidwan, punya pape vidhuya, niranjanaha paramam samyam upaiti. We get equated to Param Brahman. It's known as Samyapatti Moksham, where we get equal to Parabrahma Shiman Narayana in terms of eternal bliss. That's known as Samyapatti Moksham. Once you reach Sri Vaikuntham, then we do not undergo the cycles of births and deaths. We do not undergo sad, sorrow, being suffering and getting rewarded. We are always in bliss. We always enjoy life there. It is Nirastha Sukhabhavaika Lakshana, which is known as Samyapatti Moksham. To reach there, if you have left with punyams, you will never reach Vaikuntha. After all, if you have lot of punyams with you, you can at the best reach a Swargaloka, which is the place of Indra, the head of all devas. Swarga and Vaikuntham are not one and the same. Vaikuntham is a place, once you reach there, you never return. Whereas Swarga is a place, after spending the punyam, which resulted in Swarga, you will have to come back as a bouncing ball to this material earth. You will get back. Even on reaching Swargaloka, we are not sure. We won't stay there for long. It's not a permanent abode. We have to return. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that Abrahma bhuvanan lokaha punaravartinorjuna mamupetyat kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Oh Arjuna, Abrahma bhuvanan lokaha. Krishna did not even stop with Swargaloka. He goes to the extent of Brahma's Satyaloka. The four-headed creator Brahma lives in the seventh Urdhvaloka. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. Till the seventh loka, even if you reach with great punyams to your account, you will have to come back. Abrahma bhavanan lokaha punaravartinorjuna mamupetyatu kaunteya. But one who reaches my lotus feet, one who reaches my abode, punarjanmana vidyate, he is never born again. He is not born. As he is not influenced by birth, he never dies too. So we need to thrive hard to reach that state. To reach that, you will have to spend your papam as well as your punyam. How to do? Let us not too much worry about spending our punyam. That happens automatically. Let us more worry about spending our papam. We have accumulated so many. One, punyam will get spent automatically. And two, more important, if at all there is any punyam, it will get spent automatically. I don't think we have done so much of punyam here. We have lot of papam to be spent. How do we spend? We have to suffer. But I would not like to suffer. Why should I suffer? Being a bhakta, I would not like to suffer at all. Or if I call all of you here, please come here. I will teach you, suggest you how to suffer and spend all your papams. Of course, I won't find anybody here. No one would like to suffer. Simultaneously, I would like to reach Vaikuntham. At the same time, I would like to lead a peaceful, happy life in this material world. Not that I am wishing to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but still I would like to lead a peaceful life. At the end of this life, not necessarily immediately, but at the end of this life, at least I would like to reach Moksham. I would like to reach Vaikuntham. So, when I mentioned Swargaloka and Vaikuntha are not one and the same, I said so because we normally call as Vaikuntha Ekadashi, the 11th day of Margazhi month. In that, you would have heard about Periya Tirunal Adhyena Utsavam being conducted in all Vishnu temples. Vaikuntha Ekadashi is very significant because if you fast on that Ekadashi, you are granted moksham by none other than the presiding deity of Sri Rangam, Sri Ranganatha. In Sri Rangam, Vaikuntha Ekadashi is very important. Bhagavan enters through a big gate, and that entrance is known as Vaikuntha Vasal. But it is normally misnamed as Swargavasal. It is not Swargavasal. Swarga is much inferior to Vaikuntha. If you have Punya, you will reach to Swargaloka. If you have Papa, you will reach to Narakaloka. If you balance both, if you do not have anything to your account, then that is the way you reach Vaikuntha. When you live in this material world, we need to live peacefully. Do as much as possible to spend our Papa and Punya. At the end of this birth, not try to be born again. Instead, try to reach Vaikuntha. These three are our main objectives for our discussion today. How do we do that? The three are very complicated now. It is not that easy. But the means to these three is very, very easy. We are going to talk about a means, a way to accomplish all the three objectives. Do not worry about the difficult nature of those objectives, but yet there are very, very simple ways possible. If a car is stuck, I cannot lift the car and change my wheel. If my tire is punctured, I would not be able to do that. But still there is a way out. I can put a jockey, immediately lift the car, change my wheel. I cannot lift the car, but I have some force, some energy with which I can operate my jockey. My force gets multiplied, my efforts get multiplied, and the car gets lifted. Similarly, we can find some simple means, and those simple means can have a cascading effect, can have a multiplying effect with which I can achieve the most difficult even. Although these objectives are too difficult, I am telling you these are too difficult because we have an unassailable enemy. These papams are not that simply assailable at all. They cannot be won over. They are too difficult. I'll give you one example. Yat Brahmarudra Puruhuta Mukhair Durapam. Koratalvan in one of his shlokas, he says that Yat Brahma Kalpa, you would have heard about the long life of Brahma. Brahma, he enjoys 1,000 Chaturyugas during a daytime. The length of his daytime is as long as 1,000 Chaturyugas. One Chaturyuga runs through 4.32 million years. So you need to multiply 4.32 million years by 1,000. That is one daytime for Brahma. And during that Brahma Kalpa day, how many births and deaths will I have? Koratalvan says that a human being earns Papa in half a second, for which he can get punished for the daytime of Brahma. Brahma's daytime is 4.32 million in 1,000. Even if I perform prashchita or suffer the punishments of my Papa which I did in half a second of human time, whatever I accumulated in half a second of human time, to dispel that or to spend that, it may take a Brahma's daytime. So it is not that easy. So the enemy is very, very unassailable. Secondly, I don't have a long lifetime. I after all live for 60 years or 70 years. So I need to find some solution which is quite short, which is simple, which gives some way for me also to lead a life here, which gives solace, which keeps me peaceful, and it should not be very difficult. Many times the way will also be as difficult as the destination. If I have to reach to a difficult destination, the path will also be very difficult. If the destination is very simple, if the neighborhood is my destination, then walking over there is quite simple. But going to a difficult destination, the path is also difficult. Here our objectives are too difficult, unassailable enemy, and Vaikuntham is not close to us. It is far from us. Then I need also to live a peaceful life here. That is very difficult. Even if you are able to reach Vaikuntham, leading a peaceful life in this material world is more difficult than that. Vaikunthathukke po. Apdinuta kuda, Swami, I am a bit worried. I'm willing to go, but that is very simple. At the age of 80, I'll go to Vaikuntham. But how to lead a peaceful life till 80? That becomes more difficult here. So we have 3 difficult tasks on hand, but we need to find one solution, a simple solution that is possible by me to conduct myself, that is possible by me to practice. And that solution is Nama Sankirtanam for Kali Yuga. Reaching to Vaikuntham, our Purvacharyas, our great preceptors have mentioned 4 different paths for 4 different yugas. Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. We come through 4 yugas. Fortunately, the longest is Krita Yuga. They are in the ratio of 4:3:2:1. Out of 4.32 million years, 432,000 years is of Kali Yuga. You multiply that by 2, it is Dwapara Yuga. You multiply the same number by 3, it is Treta Yuga. You multiply the same number by 4, it is Krita Yuga. If at all Bhagavan wanted to do that, he could have changed the proportion itself and kept it as 1:2:3:4. Then in Kali Yuga, you will have to live 4 times of 4.32 thousand years. You had it. Fortunately, that never happened. Krita Yuga is the longest and Kali Yuga is the shortest. Is the means to reach our goal the same in all the 4 yugas? Not at all. The way changes. The means alters. It gets diluted. They get simplified. I'll tell you one slokam which talks about the 4 different means for 4 different yugas. Dhyayan krite yajanyajnaihi tretayam dwapare archayan yadapnoti tadapnoti kalau sankirtya keshavam. Dhyayan krite, during Krita Yuga, the first yuga, dhyana marga, absolute meditation is the only way out. Keep on meditating on your Lord. Meditation is very, very difficult. We will have to control all our senses, control our prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, vayu. We have 5 air, 5 different types, doing 5 different jobs inside our body. Prana vayu, apana vayu, udana vayu, samana vayu, vyana vayu. We need to control all the 5. Sit in the right posture. With this, start meditating on Bhagavan. It is not easy to control the senses. The moment you leave them, they start running astray. The moment you even leave one of your sensual organs, not necessarily all the 5. If your eyes go astray, of course draw all the 4 behind them. It is not that you can be happy that I have spent only one. I have only lost control on one eye or 2 eyes or only ears. I can at least save all my other sensual organs. That never happens. You are all listening to me now. Suppose there is a movement there. Someone enters and comes here. He came here to change something here now. And some of you looked at him. If you look at him, then your eyes start going astray. If they go, immediately your ears won't listen. Your mind will not register whatever I tell you. So eyes, they have been damaged now. They go away, but they don't go away alone. They immediately draw all the 4 other faculties along with them. So the moment you lose control of one, it is automatic that I lose control of all the 5. So it's not easy to control our sensual organs. Tirumangayalvar in his Tirukkurundandaham says, Yelaipina iyakkam neekki, irunduman nimayai kootti, alappil aimbula nadakki, anbavar kadne vaittu, tulakkamil sinda seydu thonnalum sudarvittange, விளக்கின விதியில் காண்பார் மெய்மையிற் காண்கிப்பாரே. Alvar is quite surprised. I don't believe that anyone attained moksham through the method of meditation at all, because it is so difficult. Alvar was a great meditator, but still he says that I don't believe that anyone can achieve moksham through meditation. It is so difficult. The path is full of hindrances, obstacles. Yelaipina iyakkam neekki. You need to control all your prana, apana, vayu. Irundumun nimayai kootti. The right yogic posture is very, very difficult. Nobody is able to sit in this posture now. You are all given chairs. I am not given a chair. Suppose it is said that all have to squat in the same posture as the Upanyasaka, as the lecturer, then I will find hardly 4 or 5 people sitting here. How long can you sit? Or the time of the lecture has to be reduced to 30 minutes. More than that, you cannot sit. Even sitting in a chair, you will change your legs, cross your legs. For first half an hour, you will be attentive. My revered father used to tell me, any difficult concept, discuss and complete within the 30 minutes of your lecture. Never take it beyond that. If it is after 30 minutes, then they will start thinking about the dinner that night. They are not going to think about what you talk to them. So, we are not able to concentrate and focus. More than 10-15 minutes, we are unable to think about any particular subject. We lose control, we lose focus. Then where is the point of meditation or Patanjali Yoga Sutra or all those people or Kundalini Yoga, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga? All for great people. Of course, not for simple people like us. And we want to get into meditation amongst every other job. It is not that we find time to do that alone. We have time for everything else. We can allot 10 or 15 minutes for this. By the time we warm up, those 15 minutes will be over. Then where is the question of meditating? Thirumangi says, it's difficult to control your senses. It is difficult to control your prana apaya, your exhaling and your inhaling. It is difficult even to sit. You need to sit at least for 15-20 minutes in Padmasana every day. If you sit in Padmasana, then all the nerves below your hip, they come under your control. You try. It will definitely help you, but we don't try. Morning about 10 pranayamas, 10 more during the afternoon and 10 more in the evening session. That is why we have been told to perform Sandhya Vandana 3 times a day. During Sandhya Vandanam, you will at least do pranayama 10 times, once in the morning, once in the afternoon and once in the evening. Forget it, even if you are not at home in the afternoon, perform your Madhyanikam, the afternoon Vandana, even before you leave to office. If you are going at 7:30 or 8, do your Madhyanikam at 7 a.m. itself. It is better to do than not to do in the afternoon. Even the time you have missed for your time, you are not on schedule, but still it is better you do that. There are 2 schools here. One, there are so many karmas and actions that are prescribed in the Shastra. If at all I do them 100%, I should. If not, let me abstain totally. This is one school of thought. There is another. How much ever I can do, let me do. Now which one do you subscribe? I subscribe to the second one. If at all you do 100%, you should, or abstain 100%. That is not right. As much as possible, let me do. Slowly I will get absorbed into doing better and better. So you need to take a positive thinking in that, not be negative. I am not able to do, so let me not start at all. That is not right. So try to sit in this posture for 15-20 minutes. You will definitely get the right benefit out of it. Ilappena iyakkam neeki, irunduman nimayai kootti, alappil aimbula nadakki, anbavar kanne vaittu. By the time you decide on all your postures, we lose control of thinking about him. After all, we need to think. After doing everything, we need to think about him now. The moment you start thinking about him, the doorbell will ring. Your telephone bell will ring. We will have to go and attend. We will think, is he a lender who is calling me or a borrower who is calling me? If he is a borrower, I would like to pick the telephone immediately. If he is a lender, I would say, I am not at home. I will pick up the telephone and tell him not at home. With this, we cannot meditate at all. Then is there a solution or not? Dhyayan Krite. In the first Yuga, Krita Yuga, Dhyana Margam was the prescribed Margam to accomplish Vaikuntha. But that is too difficult. Anything that is a job of your mind, it's too difficult. Anything that is mental is very difficult. It is simpler if it is physical. Anything that's mental is difficult. But if it is physical, it is easier. Go to your Venkateshwara temple. If I tell all, I am going to talk about the glories of Venkateshwara or the Nama, the mantra of Venkateshaya Namaha. I am going to tell you what Pancharatra Agama tells. How are the practices in Vaikhanas Agama? I won't find anybody there. Instead, I put in the notice board, tomorrow there is a Pushpa Utsavam for Bhagavan. We need lot of people to wreath garlands to Venkatesha Perumal. Can you all come and serve? I'll find 100 people at seats. Because that's physical. The earlier one which I requested was mental. No one would be prepared to come. If I give a call, you have to clean this mandapam, you have to put the chairs, you have to wreath garlands to Perumal, cook prasadam, cut fruits, all will come. People will be interested. So anything that is physical we prefer, because our mind is engaged somewhere else, but still our hands can work. We are happy always working and thinking something else. I am not telling about you who are sitting here now, because you may be sitting here listening to me, but the mind may be wandering somewhere else. At least the Upanyasaka cannot do that. Even if the listeners have the liberty to do that, the Upanyasaka has to think and talk the same. I cannot keep thinking of home and then keep talking about Vishnu Sahasranama Mahima here, and I expect the same from the listeners too. I don't think I am asking too much here. So you need to be attentive not only here, wherever you do, in your mind and in your speech and in the deeds, all the three have to be coordinated. If I split all the three, then I am a split personality. So it is difficult anything to do mentally, it is easier physically. So Bhagavan thought, come the second yuga, this meditation is not going to yield result at all. So let me simplify the path. Dhyayan krite, in the first yuga, dhyana marga. Second, yajan yagnaihi tretayam. In Treta Yuga, offerings, yaga, yajna, oblation, austerities were all prescribed by Bhagavan. Yaga, yajna, homa. These were the prescribed paths to reach Vaikuntham. Yajan yagnaihi tretayam. But that too was difficult for Dwapar Yuga. Because to perform oblation, to perform yaga and yajna, again you have to master all the shastras. Unless you know the right method to perform those yagam and yajnam, how can you do it rightly? If you falter while performance, again you will have to add account to your papa. So we were not able to do that. In the third yuga, Bhagavan still reduced, still simplified. He said, Dwapare archayan. Just perform puja to Bhagavan. Archana marga. Collect some flowers, offer them to the lotus feet of Bhagavan is archana. Keshvaya Namaha, Narayana Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha. We chant his name, we offer flowers to his lotus feet, that's it. Archana marga was prescribed for Dwapar Yuga. But come Kali Yuga, even that was not possible. Because although the method was very simple in Dwapar Yuga, it has a rider attached to it. The condition was, you must not expect anything in return for your puja. This was the rider in Dwapar Yuga. That would mean that I should not expect anything in reciprocation. It should be on its own. I do it for the purpose of doing. I should not request anything in return. That was possible in Dwapar Yuga. But come Kali Yuga, that is not possible. We go to Bhagavan first of all as a business deal. We go to him. I would offer this to you. What in turn can you offer to me? I offer something to you. What else can you offer to me? Dehite dadami me. Dadami, dada. Hey, you have to give me. Dehi, dadami. I give you this. In turn, you give you this. Alvar, in one of the songs, he says that when we go to Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, we go with a long list of requests. We have long lists. The list is right from your job opportunity, or your increment, or your promotion, or your son's marriage, or your daughter's marriage, or a good conjugal relationship, a good marital relationship, whatever it is. You have a long list, and we go to Tirumala once in a year, or twice in a year, or maybe once in 2 years. So we note down. We should not forget anything when we are before Perumal. So we note down everything. We tuck it in our pocket, we reach there. After all, they are not going to give you time even to take out that paper before him. You go and stand there, they are going to allow you a second or 2 seconds. Immediately you will listen, you will hear to the word Jaragandi, Jaragandi, Jaragandi. Move from this place. At least 6 or 8 months ago or 1 year ago, we were getting closer to Bhagavan. Now we are all returned from Jaya Vijaya Dwara itself. So you will have to take out the paper when you are entering the Mahadwara. If you take that, go stand before him and start reading. But fortunately, when you have this darshan, his darshan, you forget about the paper and all the list that you have in hand. Kolanil Kodimukun, Tamarai Kandum, Kanivayum, Neelamaniyum, Nangu Todum, Yen Nenjam Neraindana, Yedaya Ravivundum, Yenaiku Changolo, Arien, Arian Kandabiran, Tirukkangalgolo, Arien, Shudavum Tamarai, Nanmalar Pol, Vanduton Kandi, Todiyarkal, Yenshehen, Vinayattiene. Nammalvar in Thiruvaimozhi says, I am now having the darshan of this glorious eyes. Tasayatha Kapyasam Pundarika Meva Makshini. The lotus-eyed Venkatesha Perumal is killing me now. Are these his eyes or two Yamadharmarajas? Can you term Bhagavan's eyes as Yamadharmaraja? Yes, you can. If the eyes soothen you, if they are to take care of you, if they give their darshan to you, then Alvar will call them as Bhagavan's eyes, as quite intimate to him. But they are not giving darshan to Alvar. So he thought, here are they to punish me. So I will term them as Yamadharmaraja only. Yadayaravivunnum Yenaiku Changalo Arien. Bhagavan is handsome, he is very beautiful, he is charming. So we go stand before him, we forget all our pleas, we forget the list itself. But having returned to Australia, this is too far. If I were in Chennai, I will go have darshan. Even if I forget today, I can go back again tomorrow. I can ask for another thing. But if you come back here, you have to wait for 2 more years to go and have his darshan. What do you do sitting here? You have a list in hand. At last, you lost something, lost a golden opportunity. Now the list is with you. The Shastra says that don't think that you have lost an opportunity. If you are not able to have darshan in his deity form, I will tell you an alternate solution. The Upanishad says, Tasya dhirav parijananti yonim. Whoever is blessed to have his deity worshipped, he is the blessed. Fine. But if he is not blessed, if he is not able to worship the deity of Bhagavan, namani kritva abhivadani yadaste. Namani kritva. Wherever he is, whoever he is, whatever he is, from the place where he is, he immediately chants the holy name of the same deity, Namani Kritva Abhivadan. He fulfills the lost opportunity. He regains the lost opportunity. So anybody who misses the opportunity to have the darshan, the deity darshan of Bhagavan, they have not lost totally. They still have a way out. The way out is Namani Kritva Abhivadan Yadaste. Namani Kritva, he can have the same fulfillment, the same satisfaction, the same enjoyment, even by chanting his holy names. So if you miss the opportunity, then the way out is to chant his holy names. We go to Bhagavan, plead for anything, whether he gives you that or not, his holy names will grant you any plea which you have, anything that you wanted to. So where did we begin? Dhyayan krite, yajanyajnaihi tretayam, Dwapare Archayan Yadapnoti Tadapnoti. In the first yuga, it was the path of dhyana, meditation. In the second, Yaga Yajna. In the third, Archana. But in the fourth, it is only Nama Sankirtana. But you will have a doubt here. If I work for 16 hours a day, then I am paid $10,000. If I work for only 10 hours a day, I might be able to earn only $8,000. If I want only a part-time job, I have something else to mind. So I am willing to work for 2 days a week, and that too 4 or 5 hours a day, then I would be paid hardly $4,000 or $5,000. As much as you work, you get paid. Is it not logical? Similarly, in the first yuga, I put in lot of efforts through Dhyana Marga. So I will get the superior most Vaikuntha. In the second yuga, the Marga got simplified. So I will get to a second place. In the third yuga, the Marga further got simplified. So I will get to a much inferior place. In the fourth yuga, the path is still inferior. The path is simplest. So I will reach probably to the second or third floor. This is what should happen. How can I reach Vaikuntham? The Marga in the first yuga was too difficult. I would have reached Vaikuntham. But when the Marga got simplified, further simplified, then I have worked lesser, I should be paid lesser. But the glory here is, I reach to the same Vaikuntham, although the Marga got simplified. Yadapnoti tadapnoti. whichever place I accomplished, I achieved through the most difficult path in Krita Yuga, I achieved the same place, the same destination, the same fruit is enjoyed by me by following the simplest of the paths even. Yad apnoti tadapnoti. Whichever is accomplished by Dhyana Marga, the same got accomplished by Yaga Yajna. Whatever you accomplished by Yaga Yajna, the same was achieved by Archana Marga. Whatever you achieved by Archana Marga, the same can be achieved by Nama Sankirtana. So don't think that the lesser you work, the lesser you would get paid. This is a better opportunity now. The choice is better. You can work lesser, but you can earn more. Is it possible in this world? If at all it happens, then the action would be unlawful or illegal. You can easily understand that. If I am said, don't move anywhere, 30 days stay at home, on the 1st of every month, morning 7 a.m. I'll give you a big suitcase. You will have to go deliver the suitcase to that person who will be wearing a black glass. He will give you $100 million. If it said so, it is very simple to listen. But I immediately know there is some hanky-panky business here. This is not right. He is trying to tell me, he is trying to pull me into smuggling. I will get away from that. So you work very less, but you are paid the same. Immediately there is a doubt in your mind. But you need not have that doubt here, because you take the example of the jockey. I had put in my effort, but it got multiplied by the use of this jockey. Similarly, chanting the holy names of Bhagavan may be a simple method, but still there is a jockey there, the Kripa of Bhagavan himself. So when I offer this Nama Sankirtanam to it, Emberuman's Kripa, his compassion that multiplies my effort to the effort equal to Dhyana Marga or Yaga Yajna or Archana Marga. Not that there is no effort at all. The onus, the responsibility of multiplying shifts to Bhagavan now. He assumes the responsibility. You chant my holy names. I am here as a jockey. I will receive them. I will multiply your efforts and see that you get the same destination. You reach the same benefit as you did in Krita Yuga or Treta Yuga or Dwapara Yuga. Thus, in Kali Yuga, Nama Sankirtana is the best marga. It is the prescribed marga. It is the simplest marga which reaches you to Sri Vaikunthan. That is the reason why Bhishmacharya spelled out the glorious, holy 1,000 names of Sri Krishna in Shri Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. We are going to deal with the questions asked by Dharmaputra and the replies, the answers given by Bhishmacharya to Dharmaputra. Before that, Sri Parashara Bhatta, who had written a glorious commentary on Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya and named it as Bhagavat Guna Darpana. Bhagavat Guna Darpana. Bhagavat Guna, the attributes, the qualifications of Brahman. Bhagavat Guna, the auspicious attributes of Parabrahma. Bhagavat Guna. Darpana, a mirror. This commentary is a mirror that portrays the glorious attributes of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So he termed it as Bhagavat Guna Darpana. He gives a preface in this commentary. And here is the glorious shloka which explains about the significance of Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. Mahabharata Saratvat Rishibhih Pariganataha Vedacharya Samaharat Bhishmotkristam Atatvataha Parigrahatishayataha Gita Daikarthya Tashyanaha Sahasranamnam Adhyayaha Upadeyatamo Mataha. There are 7 important qualifications to Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. He says, Mahabharata Saratvat. Any day, we are very happy to know about the essence of any book or the essence of any subject. You have been invited here. Essence of Vishnu Sahasranama, essence of Bhagavad Gita, essence of Bhagavata. Instead, if it is given there, details of Bhagavata for 10 days, we won't find anybody here. If I put it as essence of Bhagavad Gita in 1 day, I am very happy learning about Bhagavad Gita in 1 day. And I learn Bhagavad Gita to do what? To destroy my enemy which has been haunting me for Anadikala. The enemy, the Sharira and Samsara and all the papams. I will have to dispel them, destroy them. To destroy them, I would like to allot only 1 hour to know about the essence of Gita. Instead, I tell you, all the 700 slokams in detail, each sloka will take about 3 hours to explain. Multiply and see. If I invite you to listen to Bhagavad Gita for 2000 hours, no one will come. So we are all interested in essence. Similarly, what is the essence of Mahabharata? Krishna Jayanti Kondadar Mullu. There are so many sweets which we cook and offer to Bhagavan. But a word of caution there, you may treat it as a suggestion or as a request. Whatever is possible by you to cook and offer, kindly do it on your own. If someone is selling on that day, paying some money, purchasing it and offering to Bhagavan is no fun at all. It is not our job. Our job is to use our limbs which is given by Him. We need to use, not necessarily you have to cook so many varieties. Whatever you are able to, do it with achara, anuttana, niyama and absolute involvement. That is what Bhagavan requires from you. There is no need in showing off. There is no need in flamboyance. There is no need to pay more and offer 26 varieties of sweets, 27 varieties of savories to Bhagavan. He is not happy by all those things. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, yome bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhaktyupahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Oh Arjuna, I never test, I never want the wealth which he is willing to offer to me, but I want the underlying purity of mind with which he offers even a penny to me. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. You may not have enough money to buy great articles. Can you not get a flower? Can you not get a leaf? Will you not get a purna kumbha, a pot full of water to offer to him? Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Yome bhaktya prayachati. More important is the underlying devotion and purity of mind when you offer these things to Bhagavan. Yome bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhaktyupagritam ashnami. I consume. I accept anything that is offered with absolute devotion towards me. So Krishna accepts anything? Not necessary. Even during Krishna Jayanti or Sri Ramanavami. Ramanavami is by far the better. Anniki, neer more panagam. Neer more, a very diluted buttermilk. Neer more. Panagam, it's a sweet drink. இப்போ ஒருத்தர் உடனே சொன்னார், பத்தியில எங்கள் கண்ணனுக்காக தான் நாங்கள் எவ்வளோ பக்ஷணம்லாம் பண்ணுறோம், உங்கள் ராமனுக்கு ஒன்றுமே இல்லை பாருங்க, வெறும் நீர் மோர் பானகம். Kindly excuse me, who cannot understand, who cannot appreciate Tamil here, just 2 minutes. I won't take more of your time. அது இப்போ ஒருத்தர் சொன்னார், கண்ணனுக்குன்னா இத்தனை பக்ஷணம் பண்ணுறோம், ராமனுக்குன்னா ஒன்றும் இல்லை பத்தியிலான்னா, எல்லாம் இருக்கிறவா கொண்டாடிக்க மாட்டா, இல்லாதவா தான் இப்படி பண்ணி பண்ணி பார்த்துக்கணும். அதனால கண்ணனுக்கு ஒன்றும் இல்லை, ஆனாலும் 25 பக்ஷணம் 26 பக்ஷணம் பண்ணிக்கிறார். ராமனுக்கு எல்லாமே இருக்கிறவா கொண்டாடி போறாளான்னா, you may take it the way you want. இதில் யாரும் நான் இப்போ கண்ணனுக்கும் கட்சி கட்ட பார்க்கல, ராமனுக்கும் கட்சி கட்ட பார்க்கல. Both, whether it is Rama or Krishna, it is anubhavam to us. It is just enjoyment to us. எதுக்கு சொல்ல வந்தேன், when we offer during Krishna Jayanti, we need to do it on our own, not buy and offer anything to Bhagavan. Dhyayan krite yajanyajnaihi tretayam dvapare archayan yadapnoti tadapnoti. We were talking about the essence of Mahabharata. You would have heard about a sweet, terattu pal. Palkova, terattu pal. You have to kaachaname. You have 10 liter pal. Pal eduthu nanna kaachuvom. You get terattu pal. Terattu pal English inna? Palkova, probably. Palkova. With 10 liters of milk, if you cook that, then you get the essence of those 10 liters. That's palgova. But palgova would only be measuring half a kilo. Not more than that. That was 10 kilos of milk. But you get only half a kilo of terattu pal. Which one is better? It will definitely be this terattu pal, because it's the essence of all those 10 liters of milk. Similarly, Mahabharata is 125,000 shlokas. I don't find time to go through everything. If I go and ask a question, I have a doubt, how is this karma? How am I going to dispel karma? Can I get rid of karma? If I go and ask something to a Vidwan, to a Pandit, he replies, yes, this answer is found in Mahabharata. Here are the 18 volumes of Mahabharata I have kept to gift to you. Here is my gift. You can go through this in detail and find an answer to your question. I will return the books to him. Who will take the books? I don't find time to flip through the pages of these 18 volumes. They are so voluminous. Instead, I expect the Pandit to have read all those, known the gist, Give me only a simple word, one word answer, and that too I will put him to test. Not necessarily he can answer and get away. I am not willing to open the book. I am expecting him to reply. Even if he replies, that reply should be acceptable to my plight today. If not, I won't accept that reply at all. Whenever people come to question anything on Dharma Shastra, they would be practicing something. They will ask us, do I find this practice in the scriptures? They won't ask me, what do the scriptures say? They are not interested in that at all. If I am practicing this, I can't change my practice anymore. So kindly tell me, is there any page where you can refer that this practice is found there? Did Vedavyasa follow me? Did Valmiki follow me? Did Vasitthacharya follow me? You must go and question with an open mind. You must not close your mind and go with a question. When you go with a question, keep your mind open. If you are satisfied, then you have to take a resolution, resolve to follow. If you have accepted that, if you have not accepted, question further. No one stops you. But if it is satisfactory to you, then you must of course put it to practice. So we were talking about this, the essence of Mahabharata. If you start kindling this, if you start silting this, then you see Mahabharata, all the 125,000 shlokas, then you will get only two portions. One portion is Bhagavad Gita and the other portion is Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. Mahabharata Saratvat, and between them, which is more important, either Gita or Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. Now that I have got rid of this lengthy 125,000 verses, I am happy. Now I have only two. One 100 verses, other 700 verses. See again, of course only 100 will rule over. Will 700 rule over? As the number is 700, I am not interested. First divide 700 by 7, I get only 100. Vishnu Sahasranama comprises of only 100 shlokas. So I would of course prefer Vishnu Sahasranama to Bhagavad Gita. I'll give you a second reason. The second reason is, the first one to be published, the first one to be preached was Bhagavad Gita, because that was on the first day of Mahabharata Yuddha. After Bhishmacharya fell down and he was lying on the bed of arrows, that is after the 10th day of Mahabharata war, he preaches Vishnu Sahasranama to all the Pancha Pandavas. So this was much later, at least 10 days later. The first day was Bhagavad Gita, 10 days later was Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. Bhagavan himself spoke Bhagavad Gita, it was by him, he spoke, whereas Vishnu Sahasranama was the preaching of Bhishmacharya about Sri Krishna. First one was the preaching of Sri Krishna. The second one was about Sri Krishna. Which one would be better? More than Krishna talking, listening about Krishna by someone else is much better. More than the words of Bhagavan himself, the words of a Bhagavata will carry more value always. Bhagavan's words will not carry that much value, because he will not understand our difficulties at all. ரொம்ப நாளா தமிழ்ல ஒன்று சொல்லுவோம், பெண்களுடைய கஷ்டம் பெண்களுக்கு தான் தெரியும். இது ஏன்னே தெரியல. இதுக்கு ஒரு போர்க்கொடி தூக்கணும். ஆண்கள் கஷ்டம் ஆண்களுக்கு தான் தெரியும். நானும் சேர்த்து ஒத்துட்டுக்கலாம் சொல்லி, பெண்கள் கஷ்டம் பெண்களுக்கு தான் தெரியும். நான் ஆண்கள் கஷ்டம் ஆண்களுக்கு தான் தெரியும் நானும் சொல்லணும். சொல்ல மாட்டேங்கிறேன். அங்கேயே ஓர வஞ்சனை. ஆனா சொல்லிக்கிறது மட்டும் வேற என்னவோவா சொல்லிட்டு போடுறான் நாம. அப்போ if you compare both, then of course Vishnu Sahasranama rules over. The reason being, if Bhagavan talks on his own, then we may not be able to believe that. Anyone who tells that I am Bhagavan prostrate before me, I will have hundreds of doubts immediately. But if someone guides me, here is Perumal, here is Venkatesha Perumal Ranganatha, go and tell about all your problems to him. He is ever willing to solve your problems. He is ever willing to grant you moksham. Then I have more faith in these words than anybody's words which say that I am Bhagavan myself, come prostrate before me. I am not telling something that is not in the Shastra. Once all the rishis went and prostrated before Indra. They asked him, whom should we meditate upon? Indra suddenly reported, Mam Upasva, you meditate on me. These rishis never accepted. They immediately questioned him back. You are not the omnipresent God. Why should we meditate on you? You are not the primordial cause, the material cause of this universe. Shastra says, Karanantu Dhyayaha. Whoever is the cause of this universe, meditate on him to get salvation. You are not the cause of this earth or this universe. And you die, you are born, your lifetime is finite, it is limited. So you are wrong. Who is the real one to be meditated upon? Then Indra said, since Bhagavan pervades me, I thought I have the liberty of using meditate on me. Since Bhagavan is found full of me, and I am me, and he is me, so I use this. Don't think that I literally meant what I said. What I meant was, meditate on Bhagavan. As Bhagavan is found full inside me, meditate on me. So he had to interpret it rightly, only then all the rishis accepted. So if suddenly I say, here you can see Shiva on my right arm, here you can see Vishnu on my left arm, no one will believe me. If I say, there is Vishnu, grow prostrate before him, that is when I believe. Although Bhagavan was right in descending, in incarnating, on preaching on his own, we will not believe his words, because we have not believed these words by many other people. Now even if he himself descends and talks, I am not willing to believe. Instead, you believe the words of an Acharya. More than Tattvopadesham, Tattva Darshi Vachanam prevails. Tattva is Bhagavan himself, the true reality Bhagavan. Tattvopadesham is an Upadesha preaching by Krishna himself. Tattva Darshi Vachanam, all the noble preceptors who have realized Brahman in them, who have internalized Brahman in them, they are Tattva Darshis, who have had vision of Brahman. Tattva Darshi Vachanam will carry more value than Tattva Vachana. So no one was bothered about Krishna's Bhagavad Gita. Moreover, it is a confusing lot. You go through all the 700 verses, by the time you get over, you would have lost yourself. It is so difficult. Once he would say Karma Yoga, immediately he would refute and say Jnana Yoga. He would say, Arjuna, you don't understand. I was very clear. It is only Karma Yoga that will reach you to Atma Sakshatkara. By the time I start practicing Karma Yoga, he will shift gears. He would say that, don't practice this Karma Yoga. This is not going to take you anywhere. Only Bhakti Yoga will prevail. Practice Bhakti Yoga. I start Bhakti Yoga. As a Bhakti Yogi, you are a Swatantra. Now perform surrender to my lotus feet. Sharanagati is the best marga. I go to Sharanagati. Krishna would say, to perform Sharanagati, you will have to destroy all your sins. What are you going to do that? Finally, Arjuna sat down lost. Our Gita keka arambichevam avudar, Gita keka mudikechevam avudar. You have come to this lecture now. When you came here, you can come with a heavy heart that you don't have an answer to a lot of your doubts. But when you go out, if I see you weeping, then I have some problem. Because I have not told you anything useful. You came in with lot of doubts. You went out with more doubts. There is no point of this lecture at all. Before the first shloka, Arjuna wept. After the last shloka, also Arjuna wept. Then where is the point? What did Krishna try and achieve? He achieved something, because the cause for both the cries were totally different. The cause for the first cry was, he was ignorant totally. He didn't know what to do and what not to do. He could not discriminate between dharma and adharma. Whereas, as he realized everything that is dharma, and he also realized that Krishna is the absolute controller, now he did not know what is left with me for to do. He is there to get done everything from me. And why is Krishna fixing the responsibility on me? So he was lost. He couldn't do anything. Again he started crying. So there is a different cause between the first cry and the last cry. But yet cry is a cry. He began this Gita with a cry. He ended Gita with a cry. Of course we want to smile here. We do not want to go back home crying. So let us forget Bhagavad Gita, the simpler method available. The better Upadesha is Shri Vishnu Sahasranama. Moreover, Krishna first spoke and he understood the difficulties in speaking. It is not easy to deliver a lecture. You come here and sit and see. Then you will know the problems in it. Romba kashtam therimu. Yen kashtam solrena. We would list some 100 things today. I have to tell about this, I have to talk about this, I have to make people understand this. By the time I come swimming through the traffic, I would have forgotten 50%. It's gone. I remember only half of them. By the time I see all of you here, I am so afraid that I forget another 50%. I am left with only 25. Then, this is the third deadliest enemy. You have the timepiece running. They would say 9 o'clock is the time. This is not Chennai or Bombay where you can go on forever. This is 9 p.m. This is Australia. So at 9 p.m. you will have to stop or you will be stopped. yesterday. Either Parker Chela and Inu Bhima Padumpo, 25 become 12. By the time I deliver and complete, it will be 6. You have another problem. You will carry home only 3. When I had this much advantage to forget, will you not have? The same advantage can be enjoyed by you also. I have forgotten, I have diluted from 100 to 12. Now you have to dilute 12 to 1 and carry home only 1. Fortunately, do not forget even that 1 after reaching home. Carry home at least 1 message. So when we start doing something, we start talking, it will be very easy. When you look from there to this stage, I too know all the subject which he is talking about. Why not I try from tomorrow? I am also given a dais here. I can sit, they will garland me. They can garland me and I have a microphone here. Ellaru pesuva, kai tattuva, ohon kondaduva. Idella nanna irukke. Why not I try from tomorrow? Similarly, Krishna also tried, but miserably failed. Then he thought, it is wise to sit down and listen about me rather than talk about myself. So he never opened his mouth after that. It was 700 shlokas he committed a mistake. And after that, he left that glorious job to all the preceptors. Oh, Bhishmacharya, you go ahead. Vedavyasa, you talk. All the Alvars, you talk. Krishna is always happy listening to himself. Tattvopadeshatta vida, tattva darishi vachanattikuttan yercham. There are many, many reasons to it. Tattva, he never belongs to our jati. He is of a different caste and creed. He is Paramatma, the ruler, and we are Jivatma, the ruled. When has a ruler understood the difficulties of the ruled? Never in this world that has happened. Only another worker will know the difficulties of a worker. Only another employee will know the difficulties of an employee. The employer will never appreciate the problems of an employee. Krishna is an employee. We are all he is an employer. We are all his employees. So when and where will he accept our sufferings? He will not. So better rely on Bhishmacharya. I'll give you one other example. Krishna only prompts Dharmaputra to go to Bhishmacharya and receive his great preachings. Krishna tells Yudhishthira, Bhishme lokantarangate jnanani alpi bhavishyanti. Oh Yudhishthira, if Bhishmacharya departs this material world, then all the sun will set. It is not, you will not find jnana anymore in this world. Bhishme lokantarangate, the only sun who was effulgent, who was brilliant, he will set in the western skies. Jnanani alpi bhavishyanti. More you won't find jnana in this material world. Dharmaputra question, you are there. The great noble soul who has preached the 700 shlokas, will you not be there? Krishna promptly replied, don't rely on my words, Dharmaputra. Go to Bhishmacharya. He is your right preceptor. Whatever he says, that will hold good. The Vedas themselves commit. They say that, Sahovacha Vyasah Parasharyaha. Whatever the illustrious son of Parashara, Shri Vedavyasa says, accept it as the best medicine to you. Don't question on that any further. Yadvai Manu Ravadat Tad Bheshajam. Whatever Manu Bhagavan writes, whatever he prescribes, no one else can prescribe a better medicine to you. Yadvai Manu Ravadat Tad Bheshajam. So the Shastras themselves confirm that preceptors preaching are very, very important. So now you compare between Bhagavad Gita and Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. This was released later. Any later edition will supersede the previous one. Don't you agree? If it's a later edition, it has to supersede. Enna government rule vartame, this supersedes all the earlier rulings. Similarly, Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya will supersede Bhagavad Gita because that was an earlier publication. This was a fresh publication. It was an earlier edition. You all care as 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. This is now 5.0 or 7.0. So of course this will carry more value. So this is a later edition. Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya will prevail. This was the preaching of a preceptor. So this has more value to it. Krishna himself prompts Yudhishthira to go and have the preaching of Bhishmacharya. So it has more value. Mahabharata Saratvad. This is the essence of Mahabharata. All the 125,000 shlokas, if you sieve them, you get this result of Vishnu Sahasranama. Mahabharata Saratvad Rishibhif Pariganataha. Where are all these divine holy names picked from? They are not only 1,000. Bhishmacharya found time only to wreath the garland of 1,000 flowers. Not that there were only 1,000 flowers. There were thousands and thousands and millions of flowers. He had time and energy only for those thousands. I talk about Bhagavan for 2 hours. An idiot. He immediately commented, here, Bhagavan has glories only for 2 hours. Is it right? I had energy to talk only for 2 hours. You had time only to listen to 2 hours. That never means his glories cease. They are not worth more than 2 hours. His glories are worth hours and hours and years and years. He has millions and millions of names to his credit. But Bhishmacharya found time only to wreath a garland of 1,000 names. Mahabharata Saratvat Rishibhi Pariganataha. In some circumstances, each Rishi has offered a name or few names to Bhagavan. For example, Bharadwaja has coined some names. Valmiki had coined some names. Vedavyasa coined some names. Rishibhi Pariganataha. So it is trustworthy. The shloka says that since these names are coined by the rishis, who are all our well-wishers, these names are trustworthy. Whose words would you trust? He must be by well-wisher, and he must be a well-informed person. Although someone is my well-wisher, if he himself is ignorant of any subject, I won't go for any consultation with him. So he must be knowledgeable, he must be well-informed, he must be my well-wisher, and he must not expect anything in return from me. Then of course I can completely believe on his words. So here, Bhishmacharya would not expect anything. The rishis never expected anything when they coined these words, Rishibhi Pariganataha. Vedacharya Samaharat. Who has authored this text? None other than the great Vedavyasa himself. So the author is very important. When you buy a book, would you not look at the author's name? If he is a good author, a reliable author, you pay a premium to buy that book. Here you need not pay any premium. You have to get involved to read through this. Rishibhi Pariganataha Vedacharya Samaharat. What is the greatness of Vedavyasa? Why should I trust him? Because he is none other than Krishna himself. Krishna was known as Krishna. Vedavyasa was known as Krishna Dvaipayana. Krishna Dvaipayana or Vedavyasa. He has written a glorious text, a sutra called Brahma Sutra, which explains all the esoteric meanings of the 10 Upanishads. So Brahma Sutra was authored by Vedavyasa. He was the preacher of all the 18 Puranas. He was the illustrious father of Shukacharya. He was the son of Parashara. What more can you expect from him? Vyasam Vasittan Aptaram Shaktehe Pautram Akalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponidhim Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nithaye Vasishtaya Mo Namaha. Vyasaya Vishnurupaya. Vyasacharya is none other than Vishnu himself. Vishnurupaya. Vishnu, if he descends directly, we don't believe in him. But if he descends, incarnates as an Acharya, we have faith in him. Bhagavan's incarnations never stop with the 10 which we are popular about. There are many, umpteen incarnations. Krishna himself says that Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyakam veda natvam vedha parantapa Bahuni me vyatitani. I have incarnated many times, Arjuna, innumerable times. Not that 10 or 25. So let us not restrict the incarnations of Bhagavan, but the last and the most effective incarnation of Perumal is the incarnation as an Acharya. He incarnates as an Acharya even. But there is a difference. When he is a Varaha, the big boar, or Matsyavatara, the big fish, or Kurmavatara, the big tortoise, then on, Narasimhavatara, Ramavatara, Krishnavatara, he holds a lot of weapons in his hands, Shastra. Whereas when he incarnates as an Acharya, he holds Shastra. There is a difference between Shastra and Shastra. Shastra would kill. Shastra would enlighten. So Bhagavan kills when he incarnates as Varaha, Krishna, Rama. But Bhagavan enlightens when he incarnates as an Acharya. So the words of an Acharya are too important, are very, very valuable. Rishibhi Pariganataha Vedacharya Samaharat. This was authored by none other than Vedavyasa himself. So I have to believe. It's so trustworthy. Vedacharya Samaharat Bhishma Utkrishta Matatvataha. Bhishmacharya was such a well-informed person. He knew all the Shastras on earth. He had practiced them all. He was such an old and experienced person. So he says, out of all the dharmas which I know, oh Yudhishthira, this is the best dharma I can pick and prescribe to you. Yeshame sarvadharmanam dharmaha adhikatamo mataha. Bhishmacharya commits adhikatamo mataha. When I compare all the dharmas, all the righteous paths which I know of, this stands out to be the best. Nama Sankirtana is the simplest and the best form of any practice. So Bhishmot Krishtamatattvataha. This has been accepted as the best dharma by none other than the best Acharya Bhishmacharya. Bhishmot Krishtamatattvataha. Parigrahatishayataha. Moreover, by noble souls from all walks of life, from any field, they have all accepted the supremacy and effectiveness of Shri Vishnu Sahasranama. I'll give you an example. Whenever a doctor prescribes a medicine, in olden days, we were practicing Ayurveda, Siddha, and they used to go pluck herbs, collect herbs, grind them, make them to kashaya or some tonic, and prescribe them. When they start grinding them, they chant the name of Bhagavan and say, let these holy names be effective in this medicine and cure my patient. So every doctor chants the name, he chants the name of Bhagavan so that the medicine prescribed is effective. Charaka Samhita, you would have heard about Charaka. He was the father of surgery, he was the father of medicines. He writes, whenever I start preparing a medicine, I chant Vishnu Sahasranama and my patient is immediately cured. But some doctor tells me that, yes, he will be. If you chant Vishnu Sahasranama, not that he will be cured here, he will be cured off here. That means that he will be never born here again at all. அதனால இங்கேயே ஒரு டாக்டர் கிட்ட போனா மருந்து கொடுக்கணும், நல்லா ஜாகிரதையா இங்கே வச்சுக்கணும். டாக்டர் கிட்ட போனா அவரே பிலாசபி பேச ஆரம்பிச்சு எப்ப கிளம்புறீங்க அப்படி நம்மகிட்டே கேட்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாருன்னா, go to a doctor, he should treat us. If you go to a doctor, if he talks philosophy and says that இது shariram nashwaram, nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavakaha, atma is permanent and the sharira is ever perishable. So don't look at the shariram, always focus on your atman. If the doctor பேச ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டா ஓடியே வந்துருவேன். என்ன ஆச்சு இவாளே எப்படி பேசினான்னா நம்ம எங்க போறதுன்னு. There are two things. One, you lead this life, you are prescribed medicines to lead a peaceful life here. There is another medicine which makes you leave from here. You can talk about two things now. You want to live here, or you also have the skill of leaving. Not necessarily the skill of living. You also should know the skill of leaving peacefully. Living is very simple. After all, you are born. Your first birthday is confirmed. The same day your 60th birthday, Satyabdabhurti, was also confirmed. This is the only thing that gets confirmed. Nothing else in this world is permanent. I do not know whether I would have become an advocate or a counsel or a lawyer or a chartered accountant or a medical practitioner. I knew nothing. But I knew the day of my 60th birthday. Did I know that or not when I was born? ஒன்னே ஒன்று கரெக்டாக தெரிஞ்சது சட்டபூர்த்தி தேதியும் சதாபிஷேக தேதியும் தான். ஏன்னா இது யாரும் மாற்றவே முடியாது. The day I was born, the same day plus 60 years will be my சட்டபூர்த்தி day. அதை தவிர எனக்கு எதுவுமே தெரிஞ்சதில்லை. அதுக்குள்ள I undergo so much of agony, so much of pain, tried to stand up. Shukacharya in one place mentioned that a child was born upside down. அப்படித்தான் வெளியில. When it comes out of the womb of its mother, the head should come out first. If the legs come out first, they invite trouble. Immediately the doctor is summoned, she changes the posture, gives some medicines. So many things happen immediately. So the head has to come out first. That would mean the child is being born head down and legs up. What happens in the course of the 70 years? The child tries to stand up. That's all. It was born upside down. In 70-80 years, the child tries to stand up. By the time it stands up, it reaches either Swarga or Naraka or Vaikuntha. Either it is born again or it is never born again. So this is our plight here. In these days, what do? We have to rely on well-informed people, trustworthy people. Bhishmot Krishnamatattvataha parigrahatishayataha. All the great medical practitioners, they have accepted the glory of Vishnu Sahasranama. Not only that, too, any auspicious ceremonies, for example, you conduct a Grihapravesham or a Simantam or a Kalyana, you start with chanting the names only. Even when you open the doors of a temple, Agama says that you have to chant the names of Bhagavan first. So chanting his name, only you start any ceremony, be it an auspicious ceremony or an inauspicious ceremony. Rendume பூர்வகாரியம் அபரகாரியம் ரெண்டு சொல்றோம் இல்லையோ. இப்ப கல்யாணம் முதலானவர்கள்லாம் பண்ணி வைக்கிறா, அதெல்லாம் பூர்வம். யாரோ ஒருத்தர் பரம் வச்சிட்டார். If someone is dead, even then you have some ceremonies. Even for that you need to chant the same names of Bhagavan. So in any walk of life, in any field, Vishnu Sahasranama is accepted. Parigrahātishayatah Bhishmodkrishtamatattvatah Gita Dhyaikarthyatashyanah. Lastly, it is one and the same as the meaning of Gita. Gita prescribed something. It is in tandem. It is not exclusive of the meanings of Gita. It is inclusive. It only supplements the meaning and the prescription of Gita. Gita Dhyaikarthya. Both Gita and Vishnu Sahasranama talk about the same objective. They talk about the same path. But unfortunately, Gita mentions the path, but did not describe the path. Krishna says that Satatam Kirtayantaha Yatantascha Dridhavrataha Namasyantascha Mam Bhaktya Nityayuktaha Upasate. Oh Arjuna, here is my devotee, my Bhakta. I will now explain the marks of a Bhakta. Identify him. Satatam Kirtayantaha, he chants my name always. Yatantascha Dridhavrataha, with absolute, resolute mind. He tries his best to reach me. Yatantascha Dridhavrataha Namasyantascha Mam Bhaktya, with absolute devotion he prostrates before me. Nityayuktaha, who cannot bear the separation, who cannot bear my separation, such are the marks of my Bhakta. Immediately Arjuna never questioned, oh Krishna, you just now mentioned Satatam Kirtayantaha, always chanting his holy names. Can you mention some? Arjuna did not question. Krishna too never listed some. So it was stopped there. Although Krishna said, chant my holy names, my Bhakta does it, he never listed those names. So that gets fulfilled now. The leftover job gets fulfilled here. Bhishmacharya is completing the fill in the blanks. So Krishna left it blank. Bhishmacharya is now completing the blank. He is filling the blank with the list of names. I'll tell you another place where Bhishma himself says that I am filling the blanks left by Krishna. So now you note the point. Mahabharata Saratvat, it is the essence of Mahabharata. Mahabharata Saratvat, Rishibhip Pariganataha, coined and submitted by rishis under various circumstances. Vedacharya Samaharat, written and authored by Vedacharya Vedavyasa. Bhishmodkrishtamatattvatah, accepted and confirmed by Bhishma that this is the best and the simplest way available. Parigrahātishayataha, every walk, every field has accepted the glory and the significance of Vishnu Sahasranama. Bhishmodkrishtamatattvatah, Parigrahātishayataha, Gita Dhyaikarthyatashanaha. It carries the same weightage. It carries the same value as Gita carries. It purports, it gives the same message as Gita gives, but more so, it explains and fills the blanks left by Gita. So these are the glories of Vishnu Sahasranama. Lastly, but not the least, is this was listened to by none other than Krishna himself. So this Vishnu Sahasranama has that fortune. Krishna would have listened when he preached Gita. Yeah, of course, when I talk, I would listen. But still, I cannot do justice to the job of listening there. I can only do justice to the job of talking. If I talk, there is no point in listening, because if I listen, I know how many mistakes I commit. So I don't listen at all. It is for you to take that burden. It is not with me. நான் என்ன தப்பு சொன்னாலும் அது நீங்க தான் எடுத்துக்கணுமே தவிர, நான் தப்பு சொல்றமே, நான் தப்பி தவிர இந்த ஸ்பீக்கரை என் பக்கம் திரும்பி வச்சா அவ்வளவுதான். நாங்க இந்த ஸ்பீக்கர் உங்க பக்கமே தான் இருக்கணும். If it turns to my side, I had it. Speaker should always face you, because it is your problem to listen whatever rotten we talk. It is yours. We don't listen to that. அதனால பேசினா கேட்க மாட்டோம், கேட்டா பேச மாட்டோம். பட் பேசுற எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு ஆசை இருக்கும். ஒரு நாள் லெஷர்லியா நம்மளையும் கொஞ்சம் அங்க உட்காந்து வச்சு, யாரா 4 பேர் வந்து இங்க பேசி நம்மளை கேட்க விட மாட்டாளா? விடவே மாட்டா. We all want this to happen. Someday you must give me a place there. Any Upanyasaka for that matter, give a place we are willing to sit at the last row even, not the first row. We can sit there. You please come here, take the dais and this microphone, talk. We would like to listen, which never happens. We keep on talking and talking for years and years together. We will request, Ivlav nala ketile, you have listened for so many years. Can you repeat something which you heard about for 10 minutes? Nobody will yield to this request at all. Swami, they will never open their mouth. எப்படி தெரியும்? கேட்டுட்டே இருக்கீங்களா, சரியாத்தான் புரிஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கீங்களா இல்லையா, இல்ல நம்ம தான் கபகபகபான்னு எத்தியானு சொல்லிட்டே இருக்குமா, யாருக்கு அது காதுல ஏறவே இல்லையா, கொஞ்சமான ஆசை இருக்காதா? திருக்கண்ணபுரம் சபரி பெருமாள், he preached அஷ்டாட்சர mantra to Tirumangayalvar. But Tirumangayalvar was not like us. He was very intelligent. He was brilliant. Shavari Perumal wanted to test Tirumangayalvar. Who Alvar? I have taught you Tirumantrartham. Can you repeat? I would like to listen to you for 10 minutes. Immediately Alvar came up with a beautiful reply. Kannapuram unnudayanu kadiyen oruvar puriyeno nin tiruvetteduthun kattunan Kannapurathturai ammane uttadum un adiyarkku adimai. Let me now reveal what I have learned from you. I have learned that I am not your servant. Bhagavan was taken aback. He has after all preached for hours together to make Tirumangayalvar realize that he is his absolute servant. Alvar denies, I am not your servant. Uttadum un adiyarkku adimai. I am a servant of all your devotees. I am not your direct servant anymore because I am not qualified to reach you directly. I treat all the bhaktas, the devotees, as my stepping ladder. I step on them and reach you. So it is better I stay close to them rather than you. I don't believe in you, Bhagavan. Better I believe on your devotees. Uttadum un adiyarkku adimai. Immediately Bhagavan was so happy. Even if Alvar had mentioned that I am your servant, he would not have been that happy. He was much more happy when he learnt that, yes, Alvar has understood the right meaning now. Adiyarkku adiyangiradhane mukyam. Ad Alvar nanna therinjunuttar. I only cite an example where even listeners can talk and talk rightly. Tirumangayalvar அப்படித்தான் பேசிட்டாருங்க, அதை போல திருப்பி சொல்லிட்டார். So now we are left with the question and answers of Dharmaputra and Bhishmacharya. Krishna left a lot of things blank, whereas Bhishmacharya filled all those things, all the blanks. He says to Yudhishthira, Yani namani gaunani vikhyatani mahatmanaha rishibhih parigitani tani vakshyami bhutaye. Oh Yudhishthira, you had put me 6 questions. I have replied to all your 6 questions. I'll tell them, do not worry. There were 6 questions raised by Yudhishthira and Bhishmacharya replied with absolute patience. Having replied, then he makes this statement, Yani namani gaunani vikhyatani mahatmanaha. All the very popular holy names of Bhagavan. And what do these names stand for? Yani namani gaunani. Guna, a divine, a glorious, auspicious attribute of Bhagavan. Shaushilyam, Vatsalyam, Karunyam, Daya, Madhuryam, Viryam, Shauryam, Parakramam. All these are the auspicious attributes of Bhagavan. Each nama, each name represents one attribute of Bhagavan. So these names are coined to explain an attribute of Bhagavan. For example, Daya, Dayadu, Kripa, Kripadu, one who wins over everyone. Veera is valor, is called as a Veera. So each name explains an attribute of Bhagavan. Yani namani gaunani vikhyatani. For example, take Krishna. What does his name mean? Krishihi bhuvachaka shabdaha nascha nirvriti vachakaha. Krishi, Bhumi, Mother Earth. Naha, one who brings happiness to Mother Earth, is Krishna. So when I mention Krishna, immediately I will recall, here is a great person who brought happiness to Bhuma Devi. That is the meaning I get. But to think of this meaning without the name Krishna is very difficult. So at the mention of one name, immediately you can recall many meanings. That is the effectiveness, the usefulness of his holy names. It may be standing representing for any of his characteristics, any of his attributes. Yani namani gaunani vikhyatani. Vikhyatani, very, very popular, well known throughout this universe. Mahatmanaha, Tani Vakshyami Bhutayet. Oh Yudhishthira, let me list them for your benefit. Yudhishthira never requested Bhishmacharya to list 1,000 names at all. He wanted to know which is the best medicine, which is the best marga as you know of. Bhishmacharya replies, Nama Sankirtanam is the best medicine. You should have stopped there. We were taught in our Bala Patham, when we were in our first standard or second standard, what is your name? If I get up and tell Krishna, they'll give only 0 marks to me. My name is Krishna. What is your father's name? My father's name is Shri U.V. Varadacharya Swami. So I have to give a complete reply. If that reply is over, when I am asked what is your name, if I reply, my father's name is Varadacharya Swami, I won't get marks again. I asked you something, you never replied that, you are replying something else. Or I was questioned, what is your name? I replied, my name is Krishna. Then I said, when I was born, I remember my father coined 3 names to me. So let me add those 2 names also now. The examiner will get confused. I have in my register only 1 name here. He will get confused. Another asked for 1 name, reply and keep quiet. Don't give more information. When the government asks you or any private agency asks you, give the information sought for. Don't tell anything more or don't tell anything less. This is the pattern we have learnt. This is our lessons. Yudhishthira had put 6 questions. Bhishmacharya answers to all the 6 questions. His job was over. His responsibility was over. Now he volunteers. Bhishmacharya says, Tani Vakshyami Bhutaye. Oh Yudhishthira, you are my kith and kin. You are my grandson. So to your benefit, I want you to excel. I want you to mature and develop spiritually. So let me list all the 1,000 names. So Bhishmacharya goes out of his way and lists 1,000 names to Yudhishthira. What for? Because he had to fill the blanks left by Krishna. Krishna had already left those blanks. If he were here even, if he had answered to the 6th question and left them as blank again, then where will another Acharya to come and fill the blank? So Bhishmacharya thought it wise, Yani Namani Gaunani, Vikhyatani Mahatmanaha, Rishabhi Parigitani, Tani Vakshyami Bhutaye. For your development, for your total development, Dharmaputra, let me list them. Vishwam Vishnuhu Vashatkaraha Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhutagrit Bhavaha Bhutatma Bhutapavanaha Bhutatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagatihi. He went on and completed all the 1,000 names. Shastra says that Devo Nama Sahasraman. This is a word from Shastra. Devaha Adi Devaha Sriman Narayanaha. Nama Sahasravan. He enjoys thousands and thousands of names. Purusha Suktam glorifies Krishna Bhagavan as Sahasra Shirisha Purusha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapad, Sabhumim Vishyato Vrutva, Atyatishthad Dashangulam, Purusha Evedagam Sarvam, Yat Bhutam Yachabhavyam, Utamritatvasye Sanaha. He is the 1,000-headed. He is the one who enjoys 1,000 arms, 1,000 legs, thousands and thousands of limbs, and thousands of names. Not necessarily when we mention the term, the number 1,000, it is restricted exactly to 1,000. It means thousands and thousands of, millions and millions of names, millions and millions of epithets with lot of interpretations and meanings. Vikhyatani Mahatmanaha, Rishabhi Parigitani, Tani Vakshyami Bhutaye. Now let us get into the conversation between Yudhishthira and Bhishmacharya. That will bring out the significance of chanting his holy names. 6 questions put up by Yudhishthira. I won't take much time because I was told you are all too eager with many questions with you. So I need to give time today. Yesterday we didn't have time and we had to quit. So today we will have to give time. I'll only take 2 minutes each for each question. 2 minutes for one question. 6 minutes, 6 questions, 12 minutes. Answers of course would take another 12 minutes. So at least I will try and complete in the next 25 minutes. The 6 questions put by Yudhishthira were Kimekam Daivatam Loke, Kimvapyekam Parayanam, Stuvantah Kam archantaha, Prapnuyur Manava Shubham, ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. Questions end there. Let me categorize these questions. You number them. The first question was, he starts, Kim ekam daivatam loke. Question number 1. Kim vapyekam parayanam. The second question. Kim vapyekam parayanam. Stuvantah kam. The third question. Kam archantah. The fourth question. Prapnuyur manava shubham. Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah. The fifth question. Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah. Kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. Sixth question. So, kim ekam daivatam loke, kim vapyekam parayanam, stuvantah kam archantah, prapnuyur manava shubham. Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah, kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. You can categorize these questions into 3. The first question was about the Supreme God, who is the Tattva, who is the only reality. Kim ekam daivatam loke. The second question was on my objective, which is the Purushartha. Where should I reach? What should I enjoy? Kim vapyekam parayanam. All the rest of the 4 questions, all the 4 were on the means to reach that goal. So the first question was about Paramatma. The second was about the objective, where to reach, what to reach and what to do. The third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the 4 questions were on the upaya. Upaya in English is means the path, the method available to accomplish my objective. The path which I should follow to reach my goal is upaya. So prapya, tattva, prapya, upaya. Tattva, hita, purushartha. Now these 3 technical words are very important. Any shastra, any scripture will talk about these 3. Tattva, hita, purushartha. Tattva, the real entity. Purushartha, my objective. What do I wish for? Hita, the path available to reach that objective. Tattva, hita, purushartha. Here the first question is about the tattva. Kim ekam daivatam loke. Who is the Supreme? Ekam daivatam kim. The second question was on the Purushartha. Kim vapyekam parayanam. 3, 4, 5, 6. All the 4 were on the Hita, the Upaya. 4 different questions were. Now we have completed Kim ekam daivatam loke, Kim vapyekam parayanam. Now you come to the rest 4 questions. Stuvantah kam archantaha, prapnuyur manava shubham. All these human beings will reach salvation when? Manavaha shubham prapya. When will these human beings reach the absolute bliss? Kim vapyekam parayanam stuvantah kam. They should chant what? They should praise on whom? They should benedict whom? They should hail whom? Stuvantah kam. Kam archantaha. They should offer flowers to whom? Kam archantaha. Prapnuyur manava shubham. Then another question. Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah. Oh Bhishmacharya, you know many. You know all the dharmas. You are aware of them. Ko dharmaha. When you compare all those, ko dharmaha, which one dharma is the best suited to me? Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah. Lastly, kim japan. What should I practice? What should I repeatedly chant? Japa is repeated chanting, repeated recitation. Kim japan muchyate jantuhu. I do japa on what? And reach out of the clutches of this material world. I have to get released. Do what? Japa on what? So there were 4 questions. Stuvantah kam archantaha, ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah, kim japan muchyate janma samsara bandhanat. Now Bhishmacharya is going to reply, but on a different order. He never replied in the same order. The questions order where the order of the questions was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But Bhishmacharya replies now 6, 4, 3, 5, 2, 1. This is totally different order now. Why can't he reply 1 chronologically? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they had done that, then we will easily learn these things. They didn't want that. They want us to put more effort. They want us to dedicate more time. Moreover, if I ask a set of questions to you, you will reply to the last question as you will remember that the first. So Bhishmacharya also followed the same practice. The last question was Kim Japan Muchyate Jantur Janma Samsara Bandhanat. Immediately Bhishmacharya replied, Jagat Prabhun Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam Stuvan Nama Sahasrena Purusha Satatothitaha. I am going to tell about, these verses are known to you. You will easily grasp these things. Verses are known, but you need to underline some words from those shlokas. The first word to underline is Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam Stuvan Nama Sahasrena Purusha Satatothitaha. Stuvan, do Nama Sankirtanam. Stotram is just chanting his Nama. Stuvan Nama Sahasrena Purusha Satatothitaha. So answer to question also reads as Stuvan. He asked Kim Japan Muchyate Jantur Janma Samsara Bandhanat. What should I do japa? How to do japam? Bhishmacharya replies, Kim Japan Muchyate Jantur Janma Samsara Bandhanat Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam Stuvan. So Stotra Nama Sankirtana is the answer to one question. Again he says, Tameva Charchayan Nityam Bhaktya Purusham Avyayam Dhyayan Stuvan Namasyamscha Yajamanas Tamevacha. Again underline the same word Stuvan. Dhyayan Stuvan Namasyamcha Yajamanas Tamevacha. This is an answer to another question now. Even here he talks about the same stotra. He talks about the same chanting and recitation. Come to the third question. There also. Anadinidanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam Sarvadukhadigo Bhavet. If you want to dispel all your doubts, if you want to destroy fear, if you want to get rid of fear, the only way is to stotra Stuvan. Anadinidanam Vittam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam Sarvadukhadigo Bhavet. Underline the same word Stuvan. Now we are left with only one question. All these four answers are on the Upaya. He mentions the last. Now it goes like this. Yeshame Sarvadharmanam Dharmo Dhigatamo Mataha Yad Bhaktya Pundari Kaksham Stavaihi Archen Narasada. Underline the word Stavaihi. So I have given you four replies now. Four key words which all talk about stotra, 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 stotra. So Bhishmacharya replies, O Yudhishthira, you had asked four questions to me on the Upaya. My simple answer is, there are many Upayas possible. But the best I know of, when you practice any means as you want, that gets supplemented, that gets value added only by Nama Sankirtana. So Stuvan, 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 Stavaihi. When he had mentioned, he has repeatedly mentioned the word Stotram and Stava in all the four replies. It implies without saying that Nama Sankirtana is the only answer to all these questions. Stuvan Nama Sahasrena Yeshame Sarva Dharmanam Dharmo Dhigatamo Mataha Yad Bhaktya Pundarikaksham Stavairarchen Narasada Paramamyo Mahattejaha Paramamyo Mahattapaha Paramamyo Mahadbrahma Paramamyah Parayanam. This is the answer to question number 2. Kimvapyekam Parayanam, which is the destination, which is my objective. Now Bhishmacharya replies, Kimekam Daivat. Bhishmacharya gives the reply here. Paramamyo Mahattejaha Paramamyah Parayanam. Paramatma Vaikuntham is your Parayanam. That is your destination. Lastly, Kimekam Daivatam Loke Mangalanam Cha Mangalam Daivatam Devatanam Cha Bhutanam Yaha Avyayah Pita. One who is the creator of this entire universe, Narayana, Avyayah Pita, one who is the father of this whole universe. He is the creator and he is the only reality. So last question gets answered there. So all these questions and answers point on one simple method, Stotram, Stotram and Nama Sankirtanam. So one has to repeatedly practice this. Moreover, when Dharmaputra went to Bhishmacharya questioning him, he says that you know of many dharmas. We start chanting Vishnu Sahasranama Dhyaya with this Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadhanam Dhyayet Sarvvighnopasantaye Yasvad Viradavaktradhyah Parishadhyah Parashatam Vignan Nighnanti Satatam Vishwaksenam Tamashraye. We prostrate, we offer our obeisances to Vishwaksena. Bhishmacharya was questioned by Yudhishthira, you know so many, but I am not satisfied with all these things. Shrutva dharman aseshena pavanani cha sarvashaha Yudhishthira shantanavam punareva abhyabhashata. Not that Yudhishthira is questioning Bhishmacharya for the first time now. He has put so many questions to Bhishmacharya, but unsatisfied with the replies, they were not satisfactory to Dharmaputra. He questions again. Shrutva dharman asheshena, having listened to about all the dharmas from the same mouth of Bhishmacharya, pavanani cha sarvashaha. Not that they were not useless dharmas. They were all useful dharmas. Pavanani, they purified the mind of Dharmaputra. But Yudhishthiraha, Dharmaputra, Shantanavam, Bhishmacharya, the son of illustrious father, Santanu, Yudhishthira Shantanavam, Punareva Abhyabhashata. He questions again. So unsatisfied by all the dharmic replies of Bhishmacharya, Dharmaputra questions again. Till you get a satisfactory answer, you have the right to question again and again. But again, not to test the answering person. It is to gain knowledge. It is to become aware of the answer. So, yani namani gaunani vikhyatani mahatmanaha rishibhip parigitani tani vakshyami bhutaye. Then on Bhishmacharya listed all the glorious names of Shri Krishna, Vishwam Vishnuhu Vashatkaraha Bhutabhavya Bhavat Prabhuhu. Now the point to note here is, Yudhishthira had asked 6 questions. Bhishmacharya replied to all the 6. Out of them, 4 questions were about the method to be followed, about the means to be followed. But in all the 4 answers, Bhishmacharya mentions about Nama Sankirtanam. So without Nama Sankirtanam, whether Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, they would not bear fruit at all. Any yoga, it will bear the result, the necessary result, only if you chant the holy names of Bhagavan. Now let me tell something about Alva's Pasharams, about these glorious names. Devo Nama Sahasraman was the praise of Shastra towards Bhagavan. Alvar immediately translates that. He says, Per Ayiram Kondador Pidudayan. Per Ayiram Kondador Pidudayan. Pidudayan, the glorious Bhagavan. Per Ayiram Kondador, he enjoys 1,000 names. We are able to have darshan of Bhagavan. Now answer a question. If I am able to have his direct darshan, then I prefer that, I choose that. If I don't have his darshan, then I settle to chanting his names. Is this the right strategy? Here Alvar says it is a wrong strategy. Even if he is available to you, it is better you go through the path of Sahasranamam only. Because there are great differences between Bhagavan and chanting his name. Bhagavan is a protector. His holy names would also protect us. He is so sweet for us to enjoy. His holy names are also so sweet to enjoy. Bhagavan has Rakshakatvam and Bhogyatvam. Rakshakatvam is he is the protector. He protects all of us. He is the savior. Bhogyatvam, he is the one who is enjoyed by all of us. He is so sweet. Anything that protects us will not be sweet. All that are sweet will never protect us. Do you agree with me? Chakara Pongal romba sweet athaan irukku. Your barfi romba sweet athaan irukku. Mysore Pagu romba sweet athaan irukku. Saaptare problem. They never protect us. So anything that is sweet is not going to protect you. All that protects is never sweet. You must have some neem leaves that protects your health. Is it sweet? Not at all. You can have bitter gourd which helps you in better health. It protects you, but is it sweet? It is not. All that are sweet, they never protect you. So I am in need. I am in search of something which will protect me as well as enjoyable to me. That is Bhagavan. He protects me whenever I want and I can enjoy with him always. But he is too long, he is too far at a distance from me. I want something close to me. Even if he is not by the side of me, I should resort to the help of this, which will immediately come to my rescue. Is there anything like that? Will it have Rakshakatvam? Will it have Bhogyatvam? Pidalokacharya says that Draupadikka abattile Padavasharandadu Tirunama Vaibhavavire. Draupadi yelled. She pleaded to Krishna, Dwaraka Nilayachyuta Govinda Pundarikaksha Rakshamam Sharanagatam. She was getting relieved of her sari by the wicked Duchasana. Draupadi had no rescuer there. she immediately put up her hands and pleaded to Krishna, Dheya Sada, Savidrimandala Madhyavarti, Narayanaha, Sarasijasana Sannivishtaha, Keyuravan Makarakundalavan Kiriti Hari, Hiranmaya Vabuhu, Dhrita Shankachakraha, Dwaraka Nilayachyuta Govinda Pundari Kaksha, Raksha, Mam Sharanagatam. Oh Krishna the Almighty, you are the Sharanya, the protector. Here I surrender to you. Can you protect me? Krishna was not by the side of Draupadi at all. He was somewhere in Dwaraka. Draupadi was at Indraprastha. But still, having mentioned the name of Krishna, Krishna immediately blessed her with lots and lots of saris, and she got relieved. She was not relieved of her sari now. She was relieved of her pain. She was relieved of her agony. Fortunately, Krishna was not close to her. Pralokacharya also mentions there, if Krishna was there, he would have relieved Draupadi of her sari. You would have heard about this story in Gokula, Vastrapaharana Charitram. எல்லா கோபிகைகளும் போய் படவையை கழட்டி வச்சுட்டு யமுனையில போய் தீர்த்தமாடினா அவ வர்றதுக்குள்ள கண்ணன் எல்லா துணியும் எடுத்துன்னு போயிட்டார். So Krishna himself, he robbed all the Gopika Stris of their vastra, of their clothes, and he never wanted to give them. They were all standing naked in Yamuna. They pleaded to Krishna, oh, give back our clothes. Krishna said, first prostrate and surrender before me. They were feeling very, very shy. They were ashamed to come out of that Yamuna river. So one girl put up one arm and said, here, I am prostrating before you. Krishna immediately quipped and told that girl, if you do namaskaram with one arm, I have said in the Dharma Shastra, chop that hand off. This is what I have told. So you need to fold both your arms. But how they are not able to relieve their arms. So immediately one Gopika Stri put her right arm, the other one put her left arm, and together they pleaded to Krishna, Kurundidai Kurapaniyai, can you not bless us back with all our clothes? Krishna then gave. Pudalokacharya mentions here, it is better to have Krishna's names than Krishna himself. If he is there, he relieves you of your clothes. With Krishna Nama, he blesses you with your clothes. So better only chant his Nama rather than Krishna. Kudare Vellum Shir Govinda, Undanne Padi Padagundi Yambari Shammanam, Nadupugadum Parishinal Nanaha, Shudakame Tolvalaye Tode Shevipuve, Padakame Yendru, Anaya Palhalanum Yamunivom, Adan Pinne, Adayudupom, Parchoru Mudane Bedu, Unamangale Choluvom, Adayudupom. Adayudupom Namatachana, Ada Kadakundra under. Kudara Vellum Shir Govinda, Undanne Padi Adayudupom. We will sing in praise of you. We will chant your holy names. We will be blessed with clothes. Padi, Adayudupom. Anale, more than Bhagavan, his names are always our protectors. His names protect us. Bhagavan will protect. His names would also protect. Bhagavan is so sweet. You think of him, he is so sweet. You utter his holy name, it is so sweet. There was one Alvar who even refused to accept moksha in lieu of Nama Sankirtana Vaibhava. Now Bhagavan, he granted moksham to Tondaradipudi Alvar. Tondaradipudi Alvar sings in praise of his holy names. Kavalil Pulanai Vaitu, Kalidhanai Kadakka Paindu, Navalil Tudurugunnom Namantamar Talakal Mide. Movala Gundumenda Mudalva, Nin Namankarta Avali Pudamahandai, Arangama Naharulane. Oh Bhagavan, now I have come in company with your names. Your names are there as my protector. As Sugriva was so afraid of Vali, but when he made friendship with Rama, he was so courageous to go stand before Kishkinda and give a call to Vali to come for a fight, come for a duel with Sugriva. How did suddenly Sugriva get that courage? Because he had made friendship with Rama. Similarly, Tondaradipudi Alvar was afraid of Yamadharmaraja. He has accumulated so many sins. At the call, at the mention of Yama's name, Tondaradipudi Alvar was afraid. Suddenly he gained courage. Now he makes a statement, Namantamar Talakal Mire Navalid Tuldarugunnom. All the servants of Yamadharmaraja, come here. I want to stand on your head and walk on your head. How bold is he? Because he is now made friends with this Nama. There Sugriva made friends with Nami. Whereas here Tondaradipudi Alvar has held the helping hand of the Namas. So, Ninamankata Avari Pudamahundai Arangaman Aharulane. Anyone who chants Sahasranama, not even Sahasranama, the one word Keshava, Madhava, Govinda, then he never visits Naraka at all. Suppose we were misfortune, it was my misfortune that I could not mention the name even once during my lifetime. I went and stood before Yamadharmaraja. He comes close to me, pats at my back and tells me that Kim Tvaya Narchito Devaha Keshavaha Kleshanashanaha. Oh, you wicked soul, the misfortunate one. You are the unfortunate. Because did you not find time, did not find one moment to mention or utter the word Keshava, Narayana, Govinda for once in a lifetime? If you had done that, then it is not a pain to me, it is not a pain to you. It is a pain to you now having come here. It is again a pain to me I am to punish you now. So let us not both undergo this pain. You should have mentioned the word at least once. Thondaradipudiyalvar also mentions there. So Bhagavan Nama protects us. Bhagavan Nama is very sweet to chant. Pachai ma malabol meni, pavadavai kamalacchankana chuta, amara rere, ayardham kolunde ennum yichuvai tavirayan poi, indiralokamadum achuvai perinum vendeen, arangaman aharulane. As Thondaradipudiyalvar sung in praise of Bhagavan and his holy names, Perumal was moved. Immediately he said, here is moksha, I grant you, keep it with you. Alvar said, I never asked you for moksha. Did I ever ask you? I never wanted one. Keep it with you. Bhagavan was very, very surprised and shocked. This is the first person who denies moksham from me. Ella mannashe, ponnashe, pennashe, yeduvana illadakkalam. Vaikundathile aashe illenu yaranu solli kelipattirukila. Eduvarne sannyasiya irundha kuda Vaikundathukku ponumnu aashapaduvar. Even a pontiff, an ascetic will only want to reach to Vaikuntham. Here is a person who never wants to reach to Vaikuntham because he is happier chanting the names of Bhagavan in this material world. I am so happy. Pachai ma marebolmeni, Pavadavai, Kamalachankan, Achyuta, Amararere, Ayardham Kolunde, Yennumichuvai. This sweetness of chanting your holy names, Achuvai Perinum Venden. If I have to barter this to that, if I have to compromise this to that, Perinum Venden Arangaman Aharulane. You need not grant me moksham at all. Kulashekara also mentions the name in Mukundamala, Shri Vallabheti, Varadeti, Dayapareti, Bhakta Priyeti, Bavalunthana Kovideti, Natheti, Nagashayaneti, Jagannivaseti, Tyalapinam Pratibadam, Kurumam Mukunda, Shri Vallabha, Varada, Dayapara, Bhakta Priya, Bavalunthana Kovita, Natha, Nagashayana, Jagannivasa. How many sweet names. Alapinam. Oh Bhagavan, you can put me, you can place me in Naraka if you want, you place me in Swarga if you want, you grant me moksha if you want. Diviva, Bhuviva, Mamastu Vasaha, Narakeva, Narakantaka Prakama. You are the rightful owner. You enjoy the right to place me anywhere you want. You place me in earth, you place me in Swarga, place me in Naraka. But wherever I am, I have one request to place before you. There make me chant your holy names. Let me be in Naraka even. Let me be in Swarga. Let me be in Vaikuntha. Alvar is very smart because now if Bhagavan places Alvar in Naraka and he chants his holy names there, that Naraka would change to be Swarga. Narakame Shuvarkamagum Namangaludaya Nambi Avanadur Arangam Ayarthu Daliyamandar Kavalayul Paduginaren Adanukke Kavalginnene. Anyone who chants his name, the same Naraka will change to be Swarga. Where is Swarga and Naraka? If I am the righteous, the place is Swarga. If I am wicked, the place is Naraka. Not necessarily those two words, the heaven and hell. I can make this place as heaven, you can make this place as hell, I can make this place as hell. That all depends on how we behave here. And Alvar Prarthikar, Narakameshu Varkamagan, Namangaludaya Nambi, give me the pleasure of chanting, repeatedly chanting your holy names here. So Thondaradipudiyalvar, in Thirumalai 45 Pasurams, this one Pasuram is very, very important. There was a bird, that was a big vulture. That vulture was feeding on a dead body. The vulture came close to the dead body. It smelled the dead body and suddenly did not want to consume it. It left and flew off. Thondaradipudiyalvar was looking at it. Pul kavva kidakku neere, pulna parave. And the kazhuku vandhudu, parundu vandhudu, pul kavva. It tried to eat that body, but thought it not wise. It left and flew off. ஏன் அந்த பறவைக்கு கூட அது எங்கேயாவது பிடிக்காத போயிட்டான்னா அதுக்கு மோப்பம் பிடிக்கிற சக்தி இருக்கான். This vulture can sniff. So it sniffs that body and tests whether this body during its lifetime had uttered the word Keshava or Ranga at least once. It can sniff. It has got that power. If it comes to know that this body had mentioned, then it will consume the body. If he comes to know that this body has never mentioned even once, then it would say, let me not add more sins to my account. Why should I eat this body and add sins to my account? This body did not even bother to mention the name of Ranga or Vallabha or Govinda even once. I should not commit that mistake at all. So full kavva kidakku neere அப்படி போய் நாம வாழலாமா? ஒரு பருந்து நாம இறந்து போன அப்புறம் இந்த உடலை கூட தொட்டு பார்த்துட்டு விட்டு போடும் நாள் அந்த நிலைமை ஒருத்தர் மனுஷனுக்கு வரவே கூடாது சொல்லி கடைசி பட்சம் ஒரு தடவையாவது சொல்லிக்க வேண்டாமா? கிம் துவயா நார்ச்சிதோ தேவஹா கேசவஹா கிளேஷநாசனஹா. Even when you go to Naraka, if you had mentioned his name once, Yamadharmaraja will never allow you to enter his place. Periyavachan Pillai, in his glorious commentary, is known as the Emperor of Commentators. Vyakhyana Chakravarti in our Vidyanamon, our Patame. Now he writes, Kattipon pole avan, Panipon pole avan Tirunamam. அவன் தன்னை இல்லை செய்கிறவர்களும் அவன் திருநாமம் கொண்டு காரியம் கொள்ளா நிற்பர். வியாதி பரிகாரார்த்தமாக திருமாம சங்கீர்த்தனத்தை நியமித்தால் அப்போதே அத்தை செய்யா நிற்பர். அவன் தன்னை இல்லை செய்கிறவர்களும் அவன் திருநாமம் கொண்டு காரியம் கொள்ளா நிற்பர். மாதிருகாதகனுக்கும் கை நொந்தால் அம்மே என பிராப்தி உண்டாமா போலே திருநாமம் சொல்லுகைக்கு சர்வரும் அதிகாரிகள். திருநாமம் சொல்லுகைக்கு யோக்கியத்தை சம்பாதிக்க வேண்டாம், இதுதானே யோக்கியத்தையை பண்ணி கொடுக்க வச்சு. நான் சொன்னது இப்போ ஒண்ணு இங்கிலீஷ் தெரிஞ்சவாளுக்கு புரியாது, இல்லை தமிழ் தெரிஞ்சவாளுக்கும் புரியாது. இப்போ இவர் என்ன சொல்லியிருந்தாருன்னா, ஐ எம் ஏபிள் டு சீ தட் என்னென்ன இதுன்னா ஓஹோ இதோ இங்கிலீஷ் தெரிஞ்சவானா அப்படி இப்படி பாக்குறா ஏதோ தெரியலேங்கிறதுக்காக. இப்ப அதே போலதான் இங்க தமிழ் தெரிஞ்சவாளுக்கும். ஏன்னா இது 800 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி எழுதினது. These passages were not written today. They are of 800 years old. So definitely there will be chaste Tamil. It's not easy to understand them. It says, Kattipon pole avan, Panippon pole avan Tirunamam. Bhagavan is like raw 24-karat gold, whereas his holy names are like ornamental gold. 22-karat or 16-karat, whatever you want. You can assume that with raw 24-karat gold, you cannot make a chain. You cannot make a ring. You can use it only if you add copper to it. So Bhagavan is like 24-karat gold, but his Tirunamams are like 22-karat gold. Kattipon poleyavan, Panippon doleyavan Tirunamam. Avan Durasthananalum idu kitti nindru udavum. Even though Bhagavan is far away from me, idu kitti nindru udavum. His names will be close to me. This will always be, he will come to my rescue. Avan Durasthananalum idu kitti nindru udavum. Draupadiக்கு ஆபத்திலே புடவை சொரந்தது திருநாம வைபவமே. The standing example would be the episode of Draupadi. Then Vyapariva Chandlai adds, அவன் தன்னை இல்லை செய்கிறவர்களும் அவன் திருநாமம் கொண்டு காரியம் கொள்ளா நிற்பர். Those atheists who deny the very existence of God, they would not dare deny his names. They would deny the existence of God, but no one will deny the existence of his names, because even to deny, disprove the existence of God, you need to use his name. Without using the name, you cannot deny his existence at all. Take the case of Shishupala. He scolded. He blamed Krishna. Krishna jaraha. Krishna is a robber. Krishna is a thief. Krishna is a liar. Krishna is a womanizer. And he listed on and on. Finally, he realized he had mentioned the name of Krishna more than me. I had even not mentioned that name so many times. But Shishupala, Krishna jaraha, Krishna choraha, he reached moksham. கடைசியில் என்ன ஆச்சு? இப்போ கிருஷ்ணா, he could not deny the name Krishna. He could not refute that. He could only refuse the very existence of Krishna. So those who deny, even to atheists, they will not deny the existence of his names. அது இங்கே atheist நேர சொல்லிட்டார். But what he means was about pseudo atheists. You will have to come to Tamil Nadu. Only then I can show you so many people who are there. எல்லாம் மேடை முழுக்க பேசிட்டு இருப்பா, இப்படி இருக்கா அப்படி இருக்கா. வீட்டுக்குள்ள போய் பார்த்தா 48 நாள் ஒரு மண்டலம் சாசனாபாரணம் இருப்பான். வெளியில போய் பார்த்தா யாருமே கிடையாது, தெய்வமே கிடையாதுன்னு இருப்பா. All those who talk, who blame, who scold Bhagavan, you go in secrecy and look at them. In privacy, they will be chanting Vishnu Sahasranama for so many benefits. Even to win their seat constituency, next time they will only be performing Sahasranama. But if you go to the platform and see, கடவுள் இருக்கிறான்னு சொன்னால் முட்டாள், அதை நம்பவே நம்பாதே, எதுவும் நம்பாதே, கிருஷ்ணனை நம்பாதே, பொய் சொன்னா பத்தியா, ராமனை நம்பாதே, இப்படி பண்ணா பத்தியா, எல்லாம் இல்லைன்னு வா. நம்பாதே நம்பாதேன்னு சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கிறே, ராமனே கண்ணனே வராகனே கோவிந்த சாஸ்திரநாமம் முடிஞ்சு போடும்போது இதுக்குள்ள பிஃபோர் த மீட்டிங், த பப்ளிக் மீட்டிங் இஸ் ஓவர், he would have finished, completed all the 1000 names. வியாதி பரிகாரார்த்தமாக திருநாம சங்கீர்த்தனத்தை நியமித்தால், so to get cured of a very difficult disease, of a long-standing acute disease, if you have told, if you are directed, now you chant for 48 days. 48 days is one mandala. If you chant Sahasranama for 48 days, you will get cured. They would do that. They would never deny. They would be denying still Bhagavan. Whereas they will chant Vishnu Sahasranama, Tirunama Sankirtanatta Niyamittal, Appode Atte Cheyyanirpar. And the example drawn there is beautiful. He says, Matrughathaganukkum kainondal, Amme yana prapti undama pole. I must love my mother. She has been so caring towards me. Unfortunately, a son hated his mother. Or naal partha, he was so hating his mother, so he slapped on her face, which he should not have. He should have offered flowers to the feet of his mother, but still he was daring enough to slap on her face. His hand was paining. When our hands pain, do we not utter something immediately involuntary from our mouth? Amma, appa, yo, edonu solluvum. Even that chap, when he slapped on the face of his mother, he said, Ma, kai valikkiru sollu. He said, Amma, mother. Mother was so fond of her son. She came close and told, you don't like me. Then why do you mention my name? You didn't like me, but அம்மான்னு மட்டும் சொல்ல தெரிஞ்சு சொல்லி, அம்மாவை பிடிக்கல, பட் அம்மான்னு சொன்னேன், நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன், எனக்கே தெரியாத அம்மான்னு வந்துருச்சு. அப்ப அந்த பேர் மட்டும் போகவே போகாது. Even if you don't like your mother, you hate your mother. If you hit her, if your arm pains, if your palm pains, you involuntarily mention amma, mention mother. Matrughathaganukkum kainondal. So even to a son, that treacherous son who hates her mother, he too never denies the name of his mother. Matrughathaganukkum kainondal, amme yana prapti undama pole, tirunamam sollugaikku sarvarum adhikarigal. Don't think that to mention the names of Bhagavan, to take his names, you must be qualified. Not necessary at all. There are no other qualifications required to chant his name. Chanting his name itself is the qualification. You don't need to gain some other qualification. The only qualification is this: I go to Ganga to have a holy dip. Gangai ஒருத்தர் போயிட்டே இருந்தார். அவர் என்ன பண்ணார், நேர கங்கையில போய் நீராடாமல் பக்கத்துல ஏதாவது குளம் இருக்கா கூட்டே இருக்கான்னு தேடினார். அங்க உட்கார்ந்தவர் கேட்டார், எதுக்கு குளத்தை தேடிட்டு போற போனா? இல்ல, நான் எங்கேயோ தீட்டு தூப்பெல்லாம் பட்டுன்னு வந்துட்டேன், கங்கையில குடிக்க போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி கொஞ்சம் குடிச்சு தீட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் போக்கிண்டு அப்புறம் கங்கையில குடிக்கலாமான்னார். அங்க உட்கார்ந்து வித்வான் சொன்னார், இத்தனை நாளா அனாதிகாலமா பாவம் சேர்த்து வச்சிருக்கேன், அது அத்தனை இந்த கங்கை தானே போக்கணும். ஆமான்னா, அப்ப இப்ப குளிக்காத திருட்டியும் சேர்த்து கங்கையே போக்கும் போயிட்டு வந்தாரு. அதனால you need not go in search of some other qualification. If I have to go have a dip in Ganga, I believe all my deeds, bad deeds, all my papam would be destroyed. With that belief I go to Ganga. But I need not go in search of another well or pond or reservoir so that I get qualified to take a dip in Ganga. That is not required at all. Straight away having a dip in Ganga itself qualifies you. There is no need for another holy river. Take a dip in that holy river, then come to Ganga. There is no qualification required at all. Similarly, to chant Sahasranama, you don't require another qualification, because this itself qualifies you. Tirunamam sollugaikku sarvarum adhikarigal. Tirunamam sollugaikku yogyatei sampadikka venda. Idudhane yogyateye panni kodukkavatru. This itself qualifies you. What more you need? All these passages, all these sentences by our great preceptors, they confirm the supremacy of Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya, the significance of we chanting his holy names. Now, with one last note, I am going to conclude. Can you trade off this Sahasranama for some other mean benefit, for worldly pleasures? Because Vishnu Sahasranama, at the end of it says, vane rane shatru jalagni madhye yadrichayapatsu mahabhayeshu idam patan stotram anakulatma sukhi bhavet tatkrita sarvarakshanaha. These 1,000 names protect you. Vane rane shatru jalagni madhye, if you are amidst enemy army. Vane, if you have lost way in any dense forest. Rane, in a yuddharanga, in a battlefield. Shatru jala agri madhye, if you are drowning, if you are getting burnt by fire, anything, you will get rescued. Chant his name, you get rescued. Vedantako brahmana syad, kshatriyo vijayi bhaved, vaishyo dhana samriddha syad, shudra sukhamavapniyad. Everyone is blessed. With what they have to be, they get blessed. So I can use Nama Sankirtana for any benefit. I should not. I'll give you one story. There was a fisherman who caught a fish. And that fish had a diamond in its belly. He never knew that. So he thought, I am fortunate enough today. He cut open, went to a businessman. He was a vyapari. He knew the value of that diamond. It was a precious gem. But this fisherman, he never knew the value. He went there and asked, how much can you pay for that? He said, how much do you want? $50. He knew only that much. So he asked for $50. He was happy. He was quite satisfied with those $50. So he traded off this diamond for just $50. But this businessman was quite smart. He immediately polished the diamond, took it to a great emperor. He went and told him, I have been going round and round this globe to get this diamond for you. You do not know the value of this diamond. How much is it? $2 million. He immediately sold it to the Raja. Raja paid 2 million and bought that diamond. Will the Raja again apply more polish, go to the kingdom by the side of him, go to the neighboring Raja and sell it for 4 million? He will never do that because he is a king. He cannot do that. He will demean himself. He will disgrace himself. So what would he do? He would make a jewel crest. He would make a great ornament with the diamond. Either he would adorn himself with that or gift it to his queen. So now we see the diamond put to 3 different uses. The first use was traded off for $50. The second use traded off for $2 million. The third use enjoyed by oneself. So these were the 3 uses. This diamond was put to use. Similar diamond is Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. Now, if you trade off for any worldly pleasure, for example, you have arogyam, you want a healthy life, I chant Vishnu Sahasranama and get a healthy life. I want to get married, I chant Sahasranama and get married. I want promotion, I want a new job, I want a better salary, I chant Sahasranama and get all those benefits. Then trading off for $50. We have traded off chanting his names for $50. No, I am not willing to use this. I would demean the names themselves. Instead, I chant Vishnu Sahasranama and plead for moksham. Not only worldly pleasures. I plead for Shivaikuntam for Bhagavan, from Bhagavan. Then it is trading off Vishnu Sahasranama for $2 million. It's better, but still not the best. Lastly, I chant his holy names not for any mean benefit, not for any worldly pleasure, not even for Vaikuntham, but for the joy of chanting those names I chant. I don't expect anything in return. Did Twendaradippadiyalvar not mention? He even refused Vaikuntha and he was happy with chanting his holy names. Adanale, the same diamond Vishnu Sahasranama can be used for worldly pleasures, can be used for Vaikuntham, should not be put to use at all. Don't treat Vishnu Sahasranama as a way, as a means to reach some destination. Treat Sahasranama as a destination by itself. It should not a method to reach anywhere else because you have reached. கண்ணனுடைய திருநாமங்களை சொல்லும் போது அதுவே ஆனந்தத்தை கொடுக்க போறது. இதுக்கு மேல ஒரு தாயார் குழந்தைய மடியில வச்சிருந்து கொஞ்சம் இருந்தா, 1/2 மணி ஆச்சு, 3/4 மணி ஆச்சு, பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்காரி பார்த்துட்டே இருந்தா, 1/2 மணியா மடியில குழந்தைய வச்சுன்னு கொண்டாடு கொஞ்சம் நீ என்ன சாதிச்சேன்னா ஆகுது. குழந்தைய வச்சுன்னு கொஞ்சினத்தை தான் சாதிச்சேன், வேற ஒன்னும் சாதிக்கல. நான் இப்போ இந்த கொஞ்சின கொஞ்சி என்ன பண்ண போறேன்னா, கொஞ்சி என்ன பண்ண முடியும், கொஞ்சினத்தான் பண்ண முடியும். அதனால இதை வச்சுட்டு இன்னொன்னு சாதிக்க போறது இல்லை, அதுவே நான் சாதிச்சது தானே. So Sahasranama has to be a sadhya, has to be a purushartha and not a hita or upaya. You can treat at the first instance, when you are entering Sahasranama, you can treat it as an upaya, nothing wrong. But when you mature, when you develop spiritually, you must realize that let me not barter this, let me not trade this for any other mean benefits. Instead, I will keep chanting his name for the joy for the glory of chanting his names. Nammalvar says, Moimmam Boompodil Poigai, Mudalai Chereppattu Ninna, Kaimavu Karul Cheida Karmugil Pol Vannan Kannan, Yammane Cholli Padi Yedundum Parandun Tulladhar, Tammal Karumamen Chollir, Tangadal Vatta Tullire, Talayinod Adanantatta Taduguttamai Paravadhar, Tammal Karumamen Chollir, Ulohar Shirikka Ninnadi, Arvamberhi Kunipar, Amarar Vadapaduvare. In one decade called Moimam Pumpodil Poigai, he prescribes the method. Adi Adi Ahankaraind, Isha Padi Padi, Kannir Malki, Nadi Nadi Narasingaven, Vadi Vadimi Valnuthale. Now, take the cymbals in your hand. Gajaya Kala Katiko, you will have to start dancing. We are all quite shy. We feel shy when we are set to do bhajanai. Pove matter. This is a Mahanagaram. Nammalvar says you will have to do bhajanai. Now, you take a somersault. On thala poi kaal adiganama, kaal vandu thalayila tattanama. Talayinodu aadaran thatta taduguttamai paravadhar. We questioned Nammalvar, you live in a hamlet. Alvar Tirunagari is such a small village where the whole population would not cross 5,000 people. It is fine. Yaru onnu kekkamata, anga onnu kashtame illa, vetkame venda, lajja venda. We are in a Mahanagaram, not even Bharata Desham. We are in such a great Desham. So, no one will appreciate that. Now, in the Marila, I can dance panity. If I start chanting names, Naraya Per Vandu, they will start laughing at me. They will make fun of me. They will clap hands and say, here is an idiot who is dancing, who is chanting the names. Alvar Solrar, let them do. That is their job. That's their behavior. Keep it as a thala. Keep it as a beat and you start dancing. Anyhow, to dance you need a beat. அதுக்கு ஆள் இல்லை. இதோ 4 பேர் வந்து நாஸ்திகம் கை தட்ட போறாங்க. Keep it as a beat and you start dancing. You know what would happen? On the 4th day they would also join you. You continue dancing. You continue singing. They will automatically join you. நம்ம நின்னுட்டே இருக்கோம். நன்னா பஜனை நடந்துட்டு இருக்குன்னு வச்சுங்க. நமக்கு பாட்டே தெரியாது, தாளமே தெரியாட்டா கூட கால் தானா தட்டாதா, கை தானா தட்டாதா. அதனால தானே பகவத் நாம சங்கீர்த்தன் நம்மளை இழுத்துனுடும். That is the essence of what we have listened to today. So Nama Sankirtanam is the best method, is the simplest method, and that is the prescribed method by Bhishmacharya. Don't treat it as a path or a method. It is, of course it is, but still for us it is not to rightly treat it as a method. Instead, let it be a destination. Let it be prapya. Let it be our objective. By chanting His holy names, we get relieved of pain. We get relief of our fear. We need not fear anyone. We are safe in His hands. You will get that feeling the moment you start chanting. Every day you can, every minute you can, every second you can. You must feel you have lost something the day you have not chanted His names. The minute you have not thought of Him, the second where you have not chanted, you must feel as though you have lost one of your limbs. If you start that feeling, if that fire is inside you, then that is the day we will feel closer and closer to divinity. அதனால சாஸ்திர நாமத்தை எல்லாரும் சொல்லணும், எல்லாருக்கும் அதனால ஏற்படுற நன்மைகள் ஏற்பட வேணும் அப்படின்னு கேட்டுக்கொண்டு இன்றைய வார்த்தையை முடிவரச் செய்கிறேன். Thank you for patiently listening about the glories of Vishnu Sahasranama Adhyaya. I am sure you would have had some message to carry home. I told you from 100 it has reduced now. Because it is already 2 hours and 16 minutes. இதுக்குள்ள 100 நான் இப்ப 6 ஆக்கிட்டேன். Whatever you can carry home, you can. ஒரு சின்ன மெசேஜ் தான். நாம எதுக்குமே யூஸ் பண்ண வேண்டாம். நாம சங்கீர்த்தனை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறதுக்காக பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கலாம். It will really benefit you with these suggestions and with these. I am sure that you will try to implement this. It will only take 20 minutes. Even if you are not able to chant Sahasranama in totality, instead, Parvati Devi questioned and Paramashiva replied, Kenopayena Laguna Vishnor Nama Sahasrakam Pathyate Panditair Nityam Shrotim Icchamyaham Prabho. Today is a weekend, I can chant Sahasranama. Tomorrow is a weekday, I don't find 20 minutes. What to do? Go to Shiva, he will give you a reply. Parvati Devi represented all of us years and years ago. She knew that these people will not even spare 20 minutes to chant Sahasranama. Not that Parvati Devi could not spare 20 minutes. She knew that we cannot spare 20 minutes. So representing us, she questions Paramashiva, if one is not able to chant all the 1,000, what can he do? Is there an alternate solution? Shiva replies, Rudra says, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. The holy name Rama, the two-syllable word that equals all the 1,000 names. நான் இதை சொன்னேங்கிறதுக்காக நாளிலேருந்து சஹஸ்ரநாமம் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கவா நிறுத்திவிட்டு இனிமே இவர் தான் ராமநாமம் போருன்னு சொன்னார் ஆரம்பிக்காதீங்க. எல்லாத்தையுமே சொல்ல வேண்டியதான். இஃப் யூ ஆர் நாட் ஏபிள் டு ஆன் ஏ பர்டிகுலர் டே, don't leave it. At least chant Sri Rama Rama Rameti. So with these words, I conclude. Thank you for attending.